You gave her just all these great accolades. The other guy, not so much.
The wickedly beautiful.
The wicked, yeah. The incomparable, right?
Well,
oh, that's Adiza Menzel. That's
yeah.
what it is, right? Yeah, when he said homegirl's name wrong.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Corey, Paco, Sam, we miss you guys. Well, looking forward to seeing you.
Do we, though?
And I do. I enjoy,
Wow.
I enjoy those guys a lot.
I'm good.
Looking forward to seeing you guys at Road Atlanta, and hope you guys are rooting on at home, everybody watching. And this is a doozy. This is a doozy.
Oh boy, we got championships on the line.
This is a repeat of Irwindale finals last year, 2-1 more times.
Oh boy.
Championship loss for Frederick Aasbo. You have to imagine he
Redemption.
wants a little redemption there.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a very important battle for the championship. Talking to Chris Forsberg in the halftime show, grade 8s are better. That's what you need pretty much every event. 8 events.
And Aasbo jumped up in points in front of Forsberg because of his qualifying position.
Right, and obviously that's important at
Right.
the end of the day, because we've seen the championship come down to a handful of points, but really trying to solidify your final position as deep into the bracket as possible is the key.
You see 13 times these guys have gone against each other. Most recently, Vaughn did get the win at Irwindale. So Frederick Aasbo with 4, Vaughn with 9, and here we go. We're ready to send it here for our first battle of the top 16. Orlando Speed World. We got a clean start here in that Rockstar Energy Drink. Next to tires, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla hatchback. Aasbo initiates, gets high. Vaughn Gittin Jr. quickly he started mid and then worked the back end of that Ford Mustang up onto the bank through that front clip. Wow, Vaughn Gittin Jr. navigating through that next entire smoke as Vaughn Gittin Jr. You can see him pushing forward, lunging to the door of that Toyota Corolla hatchback. Ryan. Woo-wee, it's getting hot in her.
It's amazing that car is running, let alone competing with the likes of Frederick Aasbo. Big props to the team. Aasbo once again starts off high on the bank. Great line. Vaughn not letting him get away. Blast through the smoke line here. Right up into the pocket, trying to close the door. Here's Aasbo through the first part of that second outside zone. Great lead run, but Vaughn is closing the door towards the end, putting an exclamation point on it. Here it is through the power alley. Not getting phased by the smoke line is Vaughn Gittin Jr. Frederick Aasbo smooth sailing out front on that lead line. And now both drivers have an opportunity to switch things up, as Frederick Aasbo will take the lead.
No, Frederick Aasbo will take the chase. Yeah.
Will take the chase, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. will take the lead.
Vaughn Gittin Jr., the Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Hand outside of the car. Don't know what's going on with Vaughn. It might have just been thumbs up, and it looks like that's what, smoke. So now, Ryan, was this about the time that Pro 2 came in? Because, again, that combination, that formula of sun and smoke, it gets very thick. So just hold that thought. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr. out front. Again, if you're just tuning in, we are live, but we saw earlier. Oh, hit a cone there real quick. So that will be a fault of Vaughn Gittin Jr. Strike one. Yeah. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. with 1 strike against him, 3 strikes. He is out. You don't like my joke, Kyle? Not a good joke? No? You don't like it? 8. Right? I really want to make like an umpire, like, you're out of there! Yeah, like a naked gun, yeah. All right, here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr. Here you go, Gunner. Watch Dad. And again, congratulations to Frederick Aasbo, recently engaged. He's going to engage with that wall. Here we go, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Oh, Frederick Aasbo initiates right to the door. Whoa, Vaughn getting up tight to the wall, shredding that back bumper into that front clip, losing a tail light goes Vaughn into that second inner clip. Now into that second outer zone. Vaughn Gittin Jr. riding the lightning. You can see him just right there. Set it and forget it. The professional fun haver, Ryan.
It was a grip and speed
champions
that got the best of Frederick Aasbo at Irwindale. Aasbo opting for that side-to-side initiation. Now he's on a lower line here. Now he has to get up to that line. You can see a little bit of adjustment there. Vaughn, nice lead out front, coming down off the bank. Some contact there. You can see parts coming off the vehicle. A little bit of separation as Aasbo tries to track him down. Vaughn going up on the bank just for a second there, but extending the distance between him and Aasbo towards the latter part of that bank. There you can see parts flying off the vehicle as we go right through that center section of the course. So much action happens there as drivers come through the smoke line, and you can see that separation So judges now evaluating both runs, lead to lead and chase to chase, and I'm sure this is going to be a talked about battle.
Yeah, do you think we have a winner, Ryan? What do you think? Oh, you're going offline? You don't want to make claims? He says nah. And what do you guys think out there? Do we have a winner? Do you think it's either Vaughn Gittin Jr.? Who's a fan of Vaughn? How about Frederick Aasbo? Oh my gosh, you guys awake out there? I know your faces are melting, but here we go. Or are they going one more time? Slide him left for Vaughn Gittin Jr., slide him right for Frederick Aasbo. Ryan says one more time, and they go one more time. Ryan Lontaine, representing Canada. Ryan.
Thanks, Jared.
Yep. Put down your bottle of maple syrup. What do you think?
Well, mistakes were made by both drivers. While they both had areas of real shining glory, I guess you can say. They were really pushing pretty hard through this run. The thing that I didn't like about Aasbo's run is that on his chase, he actually got side by side with Vaughn and took a little bit of an advantage there of the initiation. He wasn't up on Vaughn's line, and that's something that the drivers are able to do, but it's considered a compromise. So maybe had he not done that and still put together a decent chase, I would have gone with something different.
We're expecting the back tires of the drivers to be on that yellow line, beyond the yellow line, on the inside of it?
On the yellow line at the most. They were both over the yellow line,
Yeah.
coming around the finish line, and I think Vaughn might have been a little bit worse, but they both were definitely over it at that point.
Copy that. Here we go. Our next battle, Forrest Wang versus Pat Goodin. Pat Goodin right here from Orlando, and Forrest Wang from Las Vegas. Get nuts. Here we go. As Forrest Wang gets high on the bank. Pat Goodin drops into formation. These two S-chassis vehicles, two very different setups. The 2JZ compared to the V. Oh, and Pat Goodin way off course. Center punches, two tires off, and a big disruption from Pat Goodin in that power alley. Donna, I know you're watching.
Watch this initiation by Forrest Wang. Watch how he gets right up on the bank. Boom, right at the initiation. Stays on that line. Pat Goodin doing a great job through this section of the course, keeping an eye on Forrest Wang. But as he comes through the smoke line, he's going to transition too much on the inside. He's going to go two tires off, and at that point, he has to make an adjustment. He's able to get the car back in drift, but by this time, Forrest is way out ahead and gives himself a good opportunity to close this one out. This is coming off the bank. We just catch the tail end. There it is. You can see Pat Goodin going two tires off, hits that inside clip, and unfortunately, that will be a mistake in the chase position.
Yeah. Looked like three off, actually, so could be in play. And yeah, it was, I mean, a major mistake there, unfortunately, for Pat Goodin. He's going to need to put down a solid run rivaling Forrest Wang, and he's going to need Forrest Wang to make a mistake there in that chase position. And here we go, Pat Goodin out front. Juku Racing, Achilles tires, throwing it in there. Nice job by Pat Goodin out front. Forrest Wang cannot be shaken. Now coming down into that flat portion of the track. Both these guys on Achilles, and Forrest Wang executes that very well on that second inner clip. And Pat Goodin, all these guys riding that outside yellow line. Ryan.
This is very well executed by Pat Goodin, but I think in terms of competition strategy, Forrest Wang really did a tremendous job here. I think his spotter told him, hey, look, Pat Goodin made a big mistake. Let's keep the pressure on, but let's not take too many risks. He kept right within proximity without putting himself at a risk for making contact or spinning. And from a competition standpoint, extremely well done by Forrest Wang. You have to give it up for Pat Goodin pushing to a really good lead run, but that mistake in the first run I think is going to be too much.
Slide him left for Pat Goodin or right for Forrest Wang. Forrest Wang gets the win and advances on. So Wang gets the win and advances on into the Great Eight. Wang is into the 8. Next up, Justin Pollack versus Alex Heilbrunn. JTP beating Alex Heilbrunn. They only have one battle between the two drivers. Ryan, on those, on kind of the predictions earlier, you know, didn't get a straight answer from either Lorette or Forsberg.
I was going off cuff there. I knew I was taking a risk, saying, "Hey,
But you know what? Just
not a
make
big
plans.
deal.
No,
Not a big deal."
No. I like it. Who do you think's gonna get the win? Go ahead.
That's tough.
Exactly. Played that perfectly. JTP, Justin Pollack, Roush Performance, Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang. He's out front. Alex Heilbrunn in the chase position. IMR, Nitto Tires, BMW. Oh, buddy. JTP. You see him fall just slightly out of drift, but then goes back at it, gets a little deeper. And then Heilbrunn chasing him down. Oh, buddy, goes off course quite a bit. Yeah, and it looks like there was some contact there, wheel-to-wheel action.
We've definitely got some broken parts there from Alex Heilbrunn, who has really been driving so aggressively this weekend and looking amazing. Look at JTP, that snappy initiation. Here comes Heilbrunn, keeping the pressure on. You can see he falls back for a second, realizes he's got to gain proximity. Now he's closing the door. Here comes JTP through that center section. Heilbrunn surging forward. Watch this right there. They're going to touch, and Heilbrunn is going to go off course there. He understeered after they made that connection. We'll see if we can get a closer look at that. But from the naked eye, it looked like Heilbrunn was surging forward there, made contact with JTP, and then had to drive off course. And most likely there was definitely some damage to the vehicle of Alex Heilbrunn.
Yeah, you can see that front right here. Watch it again. Here's Heilbrunn. Whoa, get a little motion sickness there, Johnny. And then right, doink. And you know, when it's fully locked like that, or when it's countered, and he just points it in towards that back, that's gonna, you know, just really disrupt the car, and you know, it's more susceptible to just getting snapped right there. So unfortunately for Heilbrunn, looks like he will be not only at a disadvantage, but call a comp timeout, and it looks like they're already looking underneath JTP's car and see what kind of damage he suffered. And what's crazy is I was talking with Matt Field, I think it's before 32. Yeah, it was even before 32, talking about how much the cars jump and the slamming here. It causes a lot more damage than you think. He bent a bunch of stuff going over that whoop section yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers over the years have prepared for this track, and obviously they've had a lot of historical preparation because wall is the most extreme version of that, right? But this one is a little bit different because it has the whoop section in the center. So you have the compression coming down off the track, but then you have to deal with this kind of whoop section, which also plays a big role in the way that the vehicle is being set up. So we await the situation here with Alex Heilbrunn and Justin Pollack, and it looks like we will wait for those guys and then head back for the next battle.
Okay, so all right, taking another look here. So really analyzing it here. And here is James Dean's team, the Wordhouse Falcon Tires technicians working on the car.
It's been a quiet James Dean weekend.
Yeah.
He had a bye in the top 32, allowing him to get through into the top 16 against Matt Kaufman.
That's right.
Clearly, from what we heard with Lorette, the vehicle is having some problems again. And
oh, that's Heilbrunn's vehicle right there. So
yeah, that's Heilbrunn.
Was fault admitted? So he's just allowed to just go thrash on his car regardless?
Right now we've started the clock.
Timeout.
We've started the clock on both cars, and we're still trying to assess fault. One of the cars is going to get a 5-minute, one of them is going to get a 10-minute. Hopefully within that first 5 minutes we'll be able to assess fault. Right now we're looking at who was at fault for the collision. It looks like to a couple of us, JTP may have slowed beyond the decel zone, beyond outside zone, inside clip 2, going to outside zone 2, which would then put the fault on JTP for that contact, as he's not supposed to slow there. So it's something that we're trying to figure out with the replays that we have, and it's not easy to tell, of course, but we want to make sure we're making the right call, as the call that we make will determine who's at fault for this and who will get extra time to repair their cars.
Ryan, just give us a reminder of the decel areas that are allowed at this particular round, and we may be able to pull up the map for you, but just go over it, give us an understanding of how you guys are looking at that.
Yeah, the initial decel zone is at the initiation. The second one is just before inside clip 1, and the third decel zone is just before inside clip 2. Now, where it looks like JTP slowed is beyond inside clip 2, where the car should be back on throttle. So you can see right there that the third decel zone ends just before inside clip 2, and where that contact happened was beyond that. So if we did deem JTP at fault for that, then we would give Heilbrunn here extra time to fix his car.
All right, so it looks like Heilbrunn's team thrashing to get it back together, and you can see the clock right there in the corner, just under 3 minutes left for the repairs to be facilitated. And again, the judges are looking at say, okay, cool, you both have 5 minutes, but one will only get 5 minutes. The other one that is not at fault will get a total of 10 minutes. As the vehicle gets lower down, Ryan.
Yeah, we really need to assess fault here, and I know the judges are going back and forth on it, really wanting to make the right call. I mean, this is a classic example of a run in drifting where whenever you have a collision, the natural thing is to think that the driver in the chase is at fault, because that's what we experience in real world conditions. But in drifting, obviously we're asking them to be super close, we're asking them to push the pace. If the lead driver makes a mistake, sometimes they will hold it on the lead driver, and you know, that's what we're trying to assess.
All right, so just let you guys watch this as the clock ticks down for Alex Heilbrunn.
Minute 50. How far?
All right, so Jared, we are hearing over the comms, it looks like they are assessing fault to Alex Heilbrunn. It was unanimous, but I'm not sure if all 3 judges went for that call. Ryan, can you give us some insight?
No, the other 2 judges went with Alex Heilbrunn being at fault. To me, it looked like JTP was off throttle in an area where he wasn't supposed to be, so I said JTP, but I got outvoted, and that's how the system works. So the majority ruled in this situation, and that's how we keep things fair. So Heilbrunn will have extra time to repair his car, and JTP was considered, or sorry, Heilbrunn was considered at fault. JTP was not at fault for that one. So.
All right, so Heilbrunn gets 10 minutes, and JTP only gets...
Heilbrunn gets 5, JTP gets 10.
Oh, sorry, other way around. Thank
exactly.
You.
Yeah, you're right.
You said it wrong, and I said it wrong.
Yeah. We're helping each other out being wrong here.
That's teamwork.
The other judges looked at it in the that Heilbrunn would not. They don't believe that Heilbrunn would have made it through that area on his own without using JTP as kind of a blocker. Let's say they felt that the way that Heilbrunn was coming in was kind of a Hail Mary dive to get into that area to stay close to JTP, and he just overshot it and overplayed his hand in that situation. So that's the feeling that we have up in the tower.
Run, Larry, run. Larry, run. All right, so as we are going back and revisiting the one more time of Aasbo and Gittin. Aasbo pulling up to the line. What a fantastic way to start top 16. Frederick Aasbo, Vaughn Gittin Jr., as you said, Ryan, a repeat of Irwindale last year.
Yeah, Vaughn and his team really dug down and picked up some incredible speed at Irwindale, and I think he kept that over the offseason into this season, looking very strong. Really took Aasbo into deep waters there. So here we go.
Here we go, Frederick Aasbo initiating. Whoa, Frederick Aasbo, Vaughn Gittin Jr. right there. Here we go. Oh, doctor, look at this. Through the smoke, cuts Vaughn Gittin Jr. Frederick Aasbo, massive angle past that second inner clip. Getting on that yellow line is Frederick Aasbo, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. right there to the side. Woo, you could barely put a piece of paper between them. Wow.
Well, if you're watching on Facebook, we asked you who's going to win this battle. It's 50-50 so far. Let's take a look at this. Aasbo initiates once again high on the bank. Here comes Gittin, keeping the pressure on Frederick Aasbo, now coming down off the bank through the smoke line, cutting through. Falling back for a second, now getting back on it. Aasbo very consistent once again out front. Back and forth they go. This looks very similar to the first run. And we got another battle on our hands here. You can see Gittin a little bit shallower and fell back just a little bit coming through the smoke line. But then on it, picks up some grip, and boom, right there. It looks like he may have just nipped the inside bumper.
Yeah, it looked like Vaughn with that front right just nicked the back left over fender on that Corolla hatchback. Man. All right, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Looks like the back bumper. Again, these guys just shredding through body parts, Ryan.
It's crazy. The entertainment value from Long Beach to here in the first few battles is just not let down at all from my perspective.
No,
these guys, there
non-stop.
are no bad drivers in the series right now. Everybody's good.
Everybody's a banger, man. Anybody could win, and that's what I truly love about it. You know, just all the different varieties of engine, you know, the varieties, the international, different vehicle chassis, you know, 5-door hatchback going against iconic Ford Mustang. You know, the Corolla, it's iconic in drifting, synonymous with Toyota and tuners. So here we go. The second half of this battle, are we gonna get a winner? Vaughn Gittin Jr. will lead. Frederick Aasbo drops into formation. Vaughn Gittin Jr. sliding through and dragging bumper on the wall. Sparks go flying on that transition. Looks like Vaughn Gittin Jr. A lot of disruption there from Vaughn. Oh my goodness, right on that yellow line. Ryan, let's look at that again. Again, it looked like a magic show when they went from the bank down to the flat bottom.
Aasbo again initiating on a little bit of a tighter line, trying to move his way up here to stay on the line of Vaughn Gittin Jr. Nice job by Vaughn on the bank. There goes the Sparks. And right here as Aasbo tries to transition, you can see he makes that mistake, has a correction there. He's able to make it look pretty decent, but that was a mistake that the judges will catch. And the separation here is noticeable between run 1 and run 2, where Vaughn finished up that run. So both runs need to be digested now by the judges. We've seen the one more time battle, and the results came in quickly.
Quick. And truth be told, I thought Vaughn made the mistake with the naked eye, looking at it again. And look at this, slide him left for Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win, taking out Frederick Aasbo in the top 16. Gittin moves on to the grade 8 after such a disastrous, you know, what do you got, Ryan?
No, I was just going to say,
hold on. What?
No, the fans predicted that, actually.
Did they?
We asked them on the Facebook stream who was going to win that battle. 52% said Gittin.
Wow. Okay. So the 2%, the deciding factor, 52 to 48. So man, crazy turn of events for Vaughn. That just goes to show you, man. Never give up, man. Never give up.
Yeah, this will be a fairy tale weekend for him, with lots of stories for everybody to tell if he's able to continue success through the latter rounds.
And truth be told, Aasbo's your #1 qualifier. He was the guy to beat. So there's that X factor that I talked about, that just showing up and doing it and harder, better, cleaner, smoother, faster. I sound like a Daft Punk song right now. Here we go. Justin Pollack, Alex Heilbrunn. Heilbrunn leading out here as Pollack drops in. Heilbrunn high on the bank, and remember, you saw that contact, and Heilbrunn was at fault, but both of them are up in running order. Now transitioning through Heilbrunn. Looks like Pollack falls back a little bit there. Heilbrunn, deeper angle there. Justin Pollack, what happened there? Seemed like something.
It looks like it was on the transition. Let's take a look at it. The smoke definitely playing a factor here. You can see how bright it is, the refraction from the sun. A little bit of a lower line there from JTP. Right. Heilbrunn, great job on the bank, but as he transitions right here through the smoke line, watch, he's going to be a little bit up. He wasn't able to come down in the pocket. He lost a little bit of ground to Heilbrunn there. Heilbrunn stays on that great line on that outside zone, and you can see the separation there through the finish line. So the transition, so important, connecting the big bank to the second outside zone. And remember, that was run number 2.
Alex Heilbrunn, JTP, and slide him left for Alex Heilbrunn. Oh, look at that. JTP, 2-1, gets the win. Ryan, you were actually the only judge that sided with Heilbrunn. Your other two peers here, Brian and Andy, say Justin Pollack.
So you have to go back to run 1 and see which judge gave fault to who to assess how this is going to play out after the second run. So because they both put fault on Heilbrunn for the first run's carnage, let's say, obviously in this situation, he would have had a 0, an incomplete on the first run, and on this battle, he's at a great disadvantage. But in my eyes, because I put fault on Pollack earlier, in this case, I call Heilbrunn as the winner, and that's why I was the only one. But majority rules. In this case, JTP gets the win.
It played out in the way that you originally discussed in that first run.
That's correct. Yep.
All right, thank you, Ryan Lontaine. Thank you, our judges. Well, we are going to catch up with our girl on the ground, Lorette Nichols. She caught up with our 2-time champion. Again, you saw all hands on deck. All hands on deck on the Warehouse Drift Team Falcon Tires S15. Lorette?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't see this man's car out in opening ceremony, so we ran over to find out what's going on, and there's a lot of hands in the engine bay right now. So what's going on?
Yeah, one of the guys were moving a car to bring it out to opening ceremonies, and he thought he noticed the electric power steering stopped working, so it wasn't worth taking the risk. So the guys are changing the pump before we go out to battle Chris. So, you know, hopefully everything's going to be good. I'm going to be trying my absolute best no matter what happens, and we'll just see what happens.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette, and good luck to you, James, and good luck to your team, man. You know, we just talk about James Dean 2 years ago. Even last year, he won the championship, but not without a fight, for sure. But I don't know what James Dean to deserve all this kind of bad luck. It seems to be happening both at Long Beach and out here.
Yeah, and his team is as well prepared and well suited to deal with these challenges. You know, he had some hiccups in Long Beach and a one more time battle with Dean Carney. He reported that the nitrous system was causing the motor to shut off or something of that nature. And
remember, it was driving without it even being in gear.
Right.
And then the nitrous system wasn't activating.
Yeah, so he's having some problems there, and you know, a few more here. But you can never count out James Dean. Obviously, behind a champion is always going to be a tremendous team. They'll sort it out. They'll figure it out. We'll see him out there on course. But definitely, you know, he wants to feel confident with his vehicle when he gets up to that line.
Odi versus Gushi. What do you make of this? Ken Gushi, he's already ran 3 battles on this thing because he went through Castro not once, not twice, but 3 times in order to get the victory.
I mean, I'm of the opinion it's never too early to talk about championships, and with Aasbo going,
I know you started talking about before it started.
With Aasbo going out against Gittin, this is an opportunity for Odi Bakchis to kind of have a little bit of padding on one of his closest competitors. However, Ken Gushi had some insane chase runs and also lead runs against Jonathan Castro, and that one could have gone either way. So Gushi has come to play, but it is going to be a hard-fought battle here against Odi Bakchis, who wants to assert himself as the series leader.
Yeah, and we've seen some great things from Odi, and shout out to his wife Amy watching at home and his 2 kids, as Odi will lead first. He qualified 5th compared to Ken Gushi, qualified 12th. But qualifying, that's out the window right now. It's all about head-to-head. Odi initiates high on the bank. Ken Gushi, a little bit lower there, and look at that. Looks like spun out, or was there contact even? Looks like there's contact. We'll take a look at that again here as Odi continues on pace. And just beyond that yellow line, brings it on just slightly tighter. That Falcon Tires field suspension, S14. I don't know where the contact would be, or if just Odi or...
I think it was coming down off near the D-cell area on the big bank. Gushi right there, you can see he initiated, did a pretty good job. He had a little bit of wavering, and then see how the front bumper moved? That's where he made contact with Odi Bakchis. So that is a D-cell area, and the driver should be prepared for that. My intuition is telling me that it's probably going to be against Gushi, but we will want to confirm that with the judges. Here we go. This is on board. Let's take a look. You can see Gushi is coming up on Odi Bakchis, and right there, and then we lose him out of sight because he spins out at that point. This angle is from across the course. You can see Gushi has a little bit less angle. Watch the front right there.
Yeah.
See how it snaps all the way to the other side?
On Gushi's car,
Yeah.
it's more affected. Yeah, so that right side of Ken Gushi's vehicle, when you're looking at it, there's another shot. Johnny FPV on the drone.
So, Jared, we are hearing from the judges that it is unanimous that is Ken Gushi at fault, so that will be an incomplete from him on his run. That means that Odi Bakchis will have a major advantage here. Gushi has an opportunity to lead, but Odi Bakchis really knows how to play this competition game. He knows that he obviously can't sit back and sandbag, but being in the chase position, he's at a little bit less risk here because he can control the distance between him and Ken Gushi.
Odi Bakchis, Falcon Tires. He operates field suspension. I had a chance to go up to Wrightwood, California, where he lives, and have a couple beers and rap out with him. Learn a little bit about Odi a couple years ago.
Oh, a couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago, not recently.
Yeah.
Last week. Just I took care of the baby. They had a date night. Amy and Odi went out, and I had a date night. Took care of the kids. You know, it was nice. No, I'm kidding.
Cool.
A couple years ago, I went out there and rapped out with him. He just has a long history of knowing suspension, from motorcycles to cars. Look at the drone right over Odi doing backflips. Johnny, what do you got, bud? Let's do some flips there. Could see the drone. Woo! There you go. Nice. All right, so Ken Gushi will now lead. Odi Bakchis will chase him down. Ken Gushi with that major deficit. He spun out. He needs to really hang it all out in that Gretty Performance Toyota Racing Toyota 86. Looks like he is riding the wall. That front right wheel coming to a halt. Now comes down off the transition, front clips. Odi taking a way tighter line. Seems that front inner clip, he does not even hit it, as Ken Gushi, Ryan, unfortunately, I don't think that's enough to offset his mistake on that run one.
Yeah, I think Odi Bakchis was taking a page out of Wang's game here. Good chase run, enough to get the job done. The one little mistake that he made here as Gushi is running through his lead is he comes through a little bit wide on inside clip one, and it gets him a little bit out of whack there, but it was not as significant as what we saw from Gushi, who got the blame for the contact and spinning out. So this should be an easy win for Odi Bakchis, who will now extend his lead, at least on Frederick Aasbo, who went out in the top 16.
Let's make it official. Slide him right for Odi Bakchis. Odi Bakchis gets the victory, advancing on. Unfortunately, Ken Gushi and that Gretty Performance Toyota Racing Toyota 86 is knocked out. So Odi Bakchis will go against a Falcon Tire teammate of Justin Pollack, JTP. Also, just backtracking here, Von Gittin Jr., who took out Aasbo, will be going against Forrest Wang, who took out your local O-Town driver, that is Pat Goodin. We're officially halfway through top 16. As I said, Gittin versus Wang, JTP versus Odi Bakchis. Now on the other side of the top 16 bracket, we begin with Yoshihara and Ryan Tuerck. You can see that. 13 battles between these guys. Ryan Tuerck winning 8 out of the 13. That leaves Yoshihara with the 5 victories. 2 very different setups. One a Subaru BRZ, one a Toyota. Obviously similar chassis, just the badging and some of the styling and headlights and whatnot. But 2 very different engines, as Yoshihara with the turbo V8, Ryan Tuerck with the 2JZ engine. And again, loud and proud Ryan Tuerck, but the exhaust note and how the vehicle is ran, and Yoshihara, a very unique sounding exhaust note from Yoshihara. Looks like the turn 14 distribution, Falcon Tires, Ineos Oil, Subaru BRZ comes out blazing. Ryan Tuerck, we'll see where he lands as Yoshihara brings it tight to the wall. Ryan Tuerck gets up there, drops down a little bit, takes out and punches that the Black Magic front clip. And Yoshihara right there on that outside zone. Ryan Tuerck now finding that distance. But Yoshihara, man, just so smooth.
Very smooth, and this initiation was a little bit lower than you like to see from Dai, but he moves up right into the crease of the wall pretty quickly. Tuerck, on the other hand, starts a little bit lower, then moves in. He kept good proximity, comes through the smoke line here. Let's take a look at how they match up. A little bit less angle there from Ryan Tuerck, but now closing the door. Yoshihara right in the crease. Here comes Ryan Tuerck, keeping the pressure on as they finish things up. So a good back and forth battle here between Daijiro Yoshihara and Ryan Tuerck.
All right, Ryan Tuerck here on the start line. Race service, conifer livery there as the gum out, Toyota Racing Toyota 86, the NOS Energy Drink Blue Nose.
Got a poll going right now in the Facebook feed on who's going to win, so pick your vote, Daijiro Yoshihara or Ryan Tuerck. We'll give you the results as soon as we come back from this battle.
We'll see who's correct. All right, Ryan Tuerck will be leading. Yoshihara giving chase. Ryan, that sun just off in the distance, and again, it's kind of when the drivers go into the first outer zone, they're pointing right towards the sun. So the combination of the sun and the smoke really making it thick, so hopefully minimizing it. Letting the smoke dissipate, and it looks like we are clear to send. Thumbs up, good to go. Look at Yoshihara on the right-hand side. That was something they changed early on just to make sure Dai was comfortable with the vehicle. Here we go. No cones hit, no false start. Ryan Tuerck into the first outer zone. High, good angle from Tuerck as Yoshihara slowly creeps his way to the side of the GT86 and cuts through the smoke. Ryan Tuerck tight to that second inner clip and now rides that outer zone. Yoshihara falling back quite a bit there. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase, Ryan.
You know, it'll be one of the greatest stories of the year if Ryan Tuerck is able to put together a great campaign. This vehicle actually looks maybe even better prepared than the other car. And, you know, Chris Forsberg was saying because maybe the chassis is just newer and fresher. Here we see him getting a great jump. Yoshihara started off with a little bit of gap on the bank, then reeled him in. Then coming through that center section, Dai fell back a little bit, and then really towards the end, Tuerck gets on the throttle, stays deep in that zone. Here comes Dai through that center section, and you can see what he is dealing with that massive smoke plume coming off Ryan Tuerck's vehicle, and you can see that separation there towards the finish line.
As both of our drivers await the outcome, do we have a victor? Ryan, you got that Facebook. Pull up the Facebook thing. See what people are thinking. As who's going to win the battle? As Ryan Tuerck. So we got 57% are saying Ryan Tuerck. So slide him left for Tuerck or right for Yoshihara. Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Ryan says Yoshihara. Brian says one more time, and Andy says Yoshihara gets the win. Yoshihara advances on. So the percentage there, 57%, going to Lantain. The people said 57% that Tuerck was going to win. You guys went with Yoshihara, but remind me, which way did you go, Lantain?
I went with Yoshihara.
There you go.
Yeah, it came down for me to Yoshihara's lead run was really strong, very settled. His chase run was very settled. He fell off a little bit near the end, the last outside zone, but Ryan Tuerck in his chase one was lower on outside zone 1. He hit and went one tire off at inside clip 1, and he had a sloppier chase run. The angle of the car was not steady. He had a lot of corrections in there, so it just was not the controlled chase run that Yoshihara had. And lead to lead, I think Yoshihara did a little better as well.
Thank you, Ryan Lantain. As Lorette Nickel caught up with one of our drivers in the pit. Lorette, who are you with?
Well, I just asked Forrest Wang how everything is going, and he said, great, better than Long Beach, and he finished second on the podium. So, Forrest, what's changed from Long Beach to Orlando?
Well, I feel like we had a pretty good base setting when we got here. Like, we had set up the car for the bank, and we kind of knew what alignment and shock settings we wanted, and it worked out. And we haven't done too much setting changes since we got here, and the car's been working great. The team's been working great. Everything's solid. We're laying down some good runs. We got back-to-back 97s yesterday in qualifying, and you figure 97 would be good, but that put me in the 8th spot. So, you know, nowadays the qualifying field, the whole field is so good. Everybody's so competitive. I mean, I just watched the battle against Vaughn and Aasbo go one more time, and I mean, it looked like the finals. Like, these guys are like tooth and nail, like on each other's door, each run, one after another. So, you know, I got to go up against Vaughn now in the top 8, so it's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Best of luck for us. Thanks. Guys.
Yeah, dude. Here we go. Moving on to our next battle. We have 3 more battles left in the 16. Ooh. Forsberg and Dean. The question is James the Machine Dean 100%? Not so much him, but the car.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is going to be the question that we'll want to get answered, and I'm sure we're going to find out right here because in the chase position, Dean is known as one of the best, if not the best in the world. Obviously, coming off 2 back-to-back championships, he has that respect from everybody. Chris Forsberg, on the other hand, he won here last year against James Dean in the finals. Dean had a power steering issue that ended him going up into the wall. End him. He went into the wall, and so now this is a repeat of last year's finals, except for the starting order is switched. James Dean took the lead the first time around.
Forsberg qualified higher than James Dean this instance in this round. Here we go. Chris the Force Forsberg, and NOS energy drink. 370Z on Nexon Tires. James Dean chasing him down. Wardhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires, S15. Oh boy! Contact right out of the gate as Forsberg initiates. And now that tip to tail. So Forsberg, you can see, continues on through the course. Hopefully it's just cosmetic for both of the drivers.
Okay.
But yeah, I want Lantain to step in here because this is what do you got?
I'll tell you what I saw, and then we can, because Ryan is going to be evaluating, but the lead driver always has the right of way on initiation.
Oh boy.
And what we saw there from first pass was that James Dean was right next to Chris Forsberg when Chris dipped down to do his initiation, and Chris hit him and did not give him room to initiate. Here it is going on board. See, he's side by side, and Chris taps him right there. Now Chris is allowed to do that. He has the right of way on initiation. And Ryan, let's bring you in and just give us some deeper perspective on that.
No, you're exactly right, Ryan. We've been using this system this season. The lead car has the right of way. We tell the chase car, if you want to get beside the lead car, you can do that, but if you get in the way, you're going to be held responsible for anything like this that happens. All he had to be was an extra 1.5 feet further back, and everything would have been fine. Chris would have initiated his way, and he could have dove in on the inside there and initiated no problem. But in this case, we've all assessed fault to James Dean. Dean should not have been there. He should have been giving him the room to do what he wanted to do. It's a risk you're taking by going on that inside line like that, knowing that the lead car could initiate in that sense. So in this case, he's at fault. He also has an incomplete because he straightened. Chris initiated and completed the course, so for him, it's not a problem at all.
All right, so it looks like James Dean, as you said, he is at fault, and James Dean looks like he is leaving the track right now. So, all right, as Forsberg and Dean leave the track, Lorette caught up with what I have to assume is a very, very happy man, Mr. Gittin.
Well, Orlando has been proving to be a crazy day for you so far, Vaughn. I mean, you went into your first top 32 battle with a car that was 60% there. You take that win, and now we're going to see you against Forrest Wang. Vaughn, how do you even put into words what you're experiencing?
I think grateful is the word that sums it up. You know, I've got an amazing group of guys that work their butts off in and out, you know, on and off the track, the RTR Motorsports Lab, and to see what they did, it was just amazing for me to even witness. I never seen a car so destroyed get back together and be ready to battle, let alone, you know, move on against a competitor like Dean Carney, and then to then, you know, have the little break in the top 32 and get it back 100% to go and face Aasbo. And I'm just grateful. You know, they choose to work with us, and you know, obviously it's a job, but they're really good and very passionate. They can work for anyone, and they choose to support me. So for that, I'm extremely grateful. And I just want to go out. You know, we're about to face Forrest. He got me in Long Beach, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to earn this one for the boys, and we're going to have ourselves a long night tonight. And you know, if something else aside from that happens, I'm going to try as hard as I can. That's for sure.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everybody that sent all the messages. I'm 100% ready to rock. Let's do this. Whoa!
Guys.
It says Fun Haver on the side, and he said it's going to be a long night tonight, and I know he's got an early flight tomorrow, actually. I believe it's at 4 a.m. He told me last night. So here we go. Let's go back. The car might look similar, but it is not. It's Peter Wiecek versus Michael Essa. So Peter Wiecek and the Wardhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires, S15 Sylvia, Michael Essa and the Essa Autosports, Achilles Tire, BMW.
Watch Wiecek's initiation.
Boom. Goes right to it. Michael Essa right there. Woo-hoo-hoo! Are you kidding me? Michael Essa riding shotgun with Wiecek. Can't even see him. He's tucked in the smoke. Blasts the back end. Oh, narrowly makes it, but Peter Wiecek continues on through the course. Make some noise, Orlando, and around the world. Tell your friends, tune in, because if you're not, you're missing out.
Michael Essa,
wow,
really just brought his inner Jonathan Castro on the bank.
What?
Unbelievable on the bank right there by Michael Essa. Now watch as he comes through the smoke line. We're going to see parts. We see contact there. That was a little bit before the decel area, but we got to get the judges in on this. They are going to have to assess fault. And again, Jared, that center section really taking its toll, and you can see just how difficult it is to see, not only for us, but for the drivers. And it looks like that on the transition back around, there was going to be some contact there. Essa not able to finish
look at this,
the run.
look at this, look at here.
Beautiful by Michael.
Oh,
Essa
so sick. Look at the tire mark on the door.
just touching the door here. Let's see, we're going to catch this through the smoke line right there.
Yeah.
Just like he was a bit close on the transition.
His whiskers just not helping him out there, Lantain.
Yeah, you guys are exactly right. He just was in the wrong spot, just a little too close. Barely got the back of Peter's car, but it is going to be Essa at fault. And good job, though. Amazing
So
aggression through outside zone 1. Great job there, but Peter's going to have the time to fix his car if he needs it.
That's a what a shame situation, right?
Well,
Shame.
just, I mean, yeah, shame. Ding. Oh, so good. So good. All right, so as Essa just brings it, unfortunately, he'll be, at fault here. So Lorette caught up with JTP.
Well, JTP and I were just discussing the weather and how the heat and humidity isn't very good on cars because you guys have been battling some gremlins. So what are you experiencing?
Yeah, just some really random stuff. We've been having some like fuel delivery issues. Radium next day aired some fuel stuff out to us yesterday so we could get it installed and get it in there for qualifying, and we got it in right before qualifying, and obviously that helped us out huge. And then today we've had some other like random electrical stuff. We really have never had any electrical issues, but things, I think it's due to the issue that we were having. So we've been working through that, but the car's staying together. My guys are working hard to keep it on track for me, and we're into the grade 8, so that's always a great thing.
Best of luck. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, well, salted caramel chocolate cookies going down. So there's the back end of Wiecek and putting on those Gucci zip ties over there, right? Man, balling it out. As Peter Wiecek, looks like they are doing some race repair there. Look at that, drilling it in right through the panels. They'll zip tie it so it can hang there, and you can see the taillight support, just making sure. We'll see what we can do here. Because now Essa will lead. The taillights won't come into play, and they do have that top taillight. They have a taillight strip, or a brake light strip, excuse me, just on the back window. As Chelsea Denofa will now, so it's Chelsea Denofa and Matt Field, the All-American battle, Mustang versus Corvette. Chelsea Denofa, who drove like a maniac in the previous battle, but man, so we've seen both James Dean and Wiecek take a licking and have to retire after the first run of their battle. So now what would be the last battle of the top 16 is definitely not. So Denofa versus Field. Here we go. Chelsea Denofa, Matt Field in the chase position. Chelsea initiates, Matt Field a little bit lower. And Lorette was talking about the gremlins that Matt Field had as Denofa slams down. There's some more sparks. Field cuts through the smoke as Denofa shreds that back bumper once again. Man, body parts. The parts graveyard, I saw it when during the halftime break, Ryan, just out of the chute where the cars come in and out. There were a bunch of bumpers, and they're going to be getting a lot more parts over there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Here we go with Chelsea Denofa and Matt Field. We know Field had some issues with the vehicle. We didn't know what they were. Now coming into the top 16, Denofa goes up a little bit on the bank. Gets a little bit tight on that line, but Matt Field starting to reel him in here. So a bit of a back and forth as we come through this center section. Both drivers make it out unscathed. Denofa got off to a good jump. He was pretty high on the bank. Field was a little bit lower and had a little bit less angle. Then Field was able to close it, and then Chelsea pulled separation after the center section. So switching things up with Matt Field taking the lead, Denofa chasing him down.
So a lot of bumpers being shredded here. Hey, where are the sparks coming from? I hadn't seen that in both the Mustangs. I know it's got the diff protector, right? Transmission jack, yeah. So, yeah, differential. Trans is up front, bro. Yeah, you threw me off. All right, some metals hitting the ground. All right, here we go. Let's alternate order here. Matt Field will now lead. Chelsea Denofa giving chase. I think it's the water-cooled muffler bearing that's hitting the ground. Yeah. See how many people troll. Here we go. Matt Field in that Falcon tires, Borla exhaust, Vortex supercharged, Corvette, and Chelsea Denofa as the sun is setting. The smoke. Oh man, hanging it out, Chelsea. Wow, that was very interesting. And again, talking with Matt, he says slamming down like that bent some stuff earlier. Ryan, we were talking about it earlier, but watch the replay here. Matt Field hung it out quite a bit, but Chelsea, man, he called an audible.
Great bit of driving here for Chelsea Denofa. You can see he's on the same line as Matt Field on the bank, closing the door. Now this could have got bad right here. He was surging, but he makes an adjustment, avoids contact, but he still stays on it. Field out front, trying to stay deep into this zone, doing a great job in the lead position, and Chelsea Denofa trying to slowly reel him in towards that last section. Let's take a look at this. Watch this adjustment here by Denofa. In the smoke line, he backs off, just grazes the bumper of Matt Field, and what a great bit of defensive driving there, as it looks like he was coming off the bank with a lot of speed and really did a good job not to make contact there.
Wow, that was a very dynamic run by both of the drivers. I mean, they're two very kind of no holds barred, like I said, turn it up to 11 kind of drivers. Yeah, you can see that back end there, the fuel cell, and then kind of that jack point there, and then yeah, there's definitely a diff protector, or it's hitting the diff back there. All right, do we have a victor? Slide him left for Field or right for Denofa. Ryan says one more time. Andy says Denofa, and Brian says Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Denofa advances on into the grade 8. Lontaine, you sided actually with a one more time. Your two judges real quick because we got Essa and Piotr.
I just felt that Matt Field won the lead. He did a much better job of hitting inside clip 2 and not overshooting outside zone 2, whereas Chelsea missed inside clip 2 and overshot outside zone 2. So I felt that Matt won the lead and Chelsea won the chase. The other judges did not feel that way.
And they went
with Denofa. Yeah,
went with Denofa. Okay, so we collectively have a whole battle left, but one half with Essa and Piotr, and the other half with Forsberg and Dean. So we saw the contact there between Essa and Piotr. If you can recall it, just a few moments ago, Michael Essa was at fault. Great chase job, but unfortunately got too close for comfort. Oh, and Essa hard into the wall. Essa throws it right in and just rides the wall. So unfortunately, you have to think something maybe went a little more wrong. Hopefully he is okay. The car is moving. Let's take a look at this again here, Ron.
Yeah, he's super close to the P08. He just taps it right on initiation, then he sucked in. You can see the wheels are already turned. You know, knowing Michael Essa, he was going to go as hard as he possibly could to try to get this one back, because he was absolutely on point today in terms of his chase run against Peter Wiecek. And let's watch the first one again. I think this is worth seeing 100 times. Boom, right into the pocket and so closing. He's on the exact same line as Peter Wiecek, right on the door. I mean, there's literally nothing more he could have done in that particular area of the course, but made that mistake, according to the judges, coming through that center section. It was just a little bit too close on transition. So he had an incomplete there, and now he goes into the wall on his lead. And wow, look at the front left, Jared. Right up here.
Oh, man.
Big damage to the car on the left side. Obviously, we can just see the front left, and let's make it official.
And slide him white, right. Slide him white. Slide him right for Peter Wiecek. Round of applause for Michael Essa, please. So as Piotr advances, we have one more half of battle left. A driver that's already in the Great 8 is with Lorette now.
Well, if it's not the weather, then it's probably sickness in Florida, and maybe it's allergies. But unfortunately, Odi's a little under the weather. Are you all right?
Yeah, I can't complain too much, but definitely not feeling my best. And just trying to get through this. I just got to make it through today. I could be sick the rest of the week.
Yeah, for sure. But when you're not feeling 100% at a course like this, I mean, talk about the adjustments that you're going to have to make inside the car.
Yeah, I got my cool suit cranking. I've been taking some Dayquil and honestly just staying really overly hydrated. So, like I said, I just need to get through tonight, and it looks like it's cooling down, so that's good for me.
Okay, Odi, best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys. Good news for Chelsea Denofa. He's moving on, and I asked any changes from Long Beach to Orlando, and you named a few.
Yeah, we've got a couple more horsepower, and you're good. From the nitrous that he's putting in right now. But yeah, overall, just a small alignment changes, learning this tire from Nitto a little bit more, and bettering what we've got going on, and the team's working great. Vaughn's on fire. I feel really good, so I think it'll be us for that battle at the end for 1 and 2.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Ryan Denofa will be going against Peter Wiecek. We only have one more half of battle left, and Forsberg has a major advantage there. If you can recall, it was Forsberg and Dean, and Forsberg initiated, boom, hit Dean, and both of them sustained a little bit of damage, but they called their either comp timeouts or their a 10-minute allotment. But let's walk through the great 8 battles. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Forrest Wang.
Yeah, well, you heard what Vaughn Gittin Jr. said. He needs a little bit of payback from getting knocked out in the top 16, getting knocked out earlier than he would have liked to in Long Beach from Forrest Wang. But Forrest is on a charge. He's continuing to do well. He qualified in the top 10 at the number 8 position, and he is not going to back down.
And he also made the comment. He's like, dude, I watched that Vaughn Gittin Jr. Aasbo battle. That was like the finals. Like just the way they're bringing it. They're G'd up from the feet up.
You got to bring it.
Our next battle will be an All Falcon battle, JTP and Odi Bakchis.
Well, we've seen this before, haven't we? We've seen this same battle a few times, I believe, at Wall. And Odi Bakchis was the last person to win there. And so you have to imagine that JTP, even though he says that he's dealing with some gremlins, is going to give it everything he's got. He is looking very small, very solid and smooth. And when you look at both of those drivers, it's really hard to find an area where they've needed to improve this round. Both drivers have qualified well, they've competed well, and so that's going to be an amazing battle.
Peter Wiecek versus Chelsea Denofa, the Polish driver who just, I don't want to say took out Essa, because Essa took himself out. I mean, I was talking with one of the judges, I won't name names, but it's like the guys aren't scared of the Wordhouse Drift Team guys anymore. They're not that menacing. They've now they know how they drive. They know what to expect. They're not rookies anymore. They've seen James Dean drive, but not here in the States in numerous years. But Peter Wiecek, I think Denofa, he's going to, just seeing what he does. He doesn't care who he's going against. He pushes hard. But what are your thoughts?
Well, in my opinion, I think the Wordhouse guys brought a new level to FD, and now the rest of the field has worked over the past few years to close that gap. And it is the most competitive top 32 field that we've ever seen. Denofa is absolutely on fire. The last time he podiumed, if memory serves me correct, was in St. Louis. He looked insane there. He's always throwing big angle. He's going to go very, very hard.
Yep.
And Peter Wiecek is known as a driver that is willing to go as hard as you want him to go, pushing very, very deep, especially on those initiations and in the chase run. So you can expect that to be a banger.
All right, so Yoshihara will go against the winner of this battle, and that will forge our great 8, as Forsberg will be pulling to the line. He's in the chase position. James Dean will lead, as this is the second half. Again, if you can recount and recall, Forsberg, he was leading the first half of this. He went to go initiate, and it is the chase's vehicle's job to allow that lead car. They can go wherever they need to go, and that's why the judges have really mandated tip to tail on initiation. As the drone drops in right in between these gentlemen. And here we go. So James Dean, Chris Forsberg for the second half of this battle, the 2-time defending champion. Chris Forsberg, the 3-time champion. 5 championships between these two drivers. Here we go. James the Machine Dean. Oh, man, it looks like jumped the line. I mean, for just these guys, just the caliber of driving, Andy, Brian, Ryan, we were just talking about it, just the caliber of driving today has just been absolutely insane, but everybody's kind of on edge as well. We saw that in Pro 2 and here in Pro. I feel like it's the most amount of strikes we've seen at an event in quite some time. Rock one. James the Machine Dean. Clean start, no cones hit. And James initiates. Forsberg on the chase as James tight to the wall. Nice job right now. Chris Forsberg brings it in tight and close on the transition, slams down. Looks like James Dean loses that back bumper, wraps it around that second inside clip, and into that outer zone goes James Dean. And so does Forsberg. But with that contact on that first run, I think it's too little too late.
Well, Dean was going to need a very significant mistake from Chris in order to force a one more time to have the lead comparisons. That would have been incomplete from both chases in this particular case. Coming through that center section, we see some parts falling off there. Of course, we had a little bit less angle, but ultimately what we're looking at here is a big bar. We're looking for an incomplete from Chris in order to give ourselves an opportunity to evaluate those lead runs. And here it is right here. You can see James decided to go up alongside Chris, didn't give him room to initiate there. And the lead driver does have the right of way in initiation. So unfortunately, this battle had some premature conclusions because of that.
There we go. Chris Forsberg gets the win. I was listening to you talking, bud. And slide him right for Chris Forsberg. I was waiting until you finish your sentence. I wasn't going to cut you off. All right. Getting a little tranced out there. So James Dean is out. And our grade 8 is shaped up. It is Vaughn Gittin Jr. versus Forrest Wang, JTP versus Odi, Yoshihara versus Forsberg, Peter Wiecek versus Chelsea Denofa. Grade 8 up next here at AutoZone. Scorch presented by Black Magic. Welcome back to AutoZone Scorch presented by Black Magic. Our first pair warming up their tires. Vaughn Gittin Jr. got Nittos, and Forrest Wang warming up his Achilles tires. And you can see Forrest Wang there, changing up his livery. Look at that, 3-1. Forrest Wang winning 3 out of the 4 battles between these guys, but you can see the winning percentage of Vaughn Gittin Jr. being it since day 1. Forrest Wang, he's definitely a veteran of the sport as far as competing in FD. I think probably 10 years or so, or just shy thereof. But first up, Forrest Wang will lead. Forrest Wang qualifying 8th, Vaughn Gittin Jr. qualifying 16th. Forrest Wang about to get nuts, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. getting all the cobwebs out in that last battle against Frederick Aasbo. Forrest Wang making his way through Pat Goodin, and then earlier that Ryan Littoral, man, all the way back at 32, and that was a great battle. Ryan Littoral and Forrest Wang. Here we go. Forrest Wang out front. Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the chase position, initiating. Whoa! Vaughn! Wow! That looked like it was going to get into some serious calamity. Sparks throwing once again as Forrest Wang wraps it around that second front clip. Vaughn Gittin Jr. chases him down, and this is what Vaughn was talking about. He wants to give it back. Are you kidding me? Make some noise. Ryan, I see you shaking your head. Are you just astonished or what, man?
Oh, he is bringing the chase game today. Initiates right into it, starts surging forward.
Whoa.
Comes down a little bit low, makes a little bit of a mistake, but it was an aggressive mistake. Forrest up high, great job on the bank. Now Vaughn coming through the smoke line, surging forward is Vaughn Gittin Jr. looking for this opportunity here. He gets right up in the pocket. You can see Forrest Wang is on that deep line, but Vaughn is not letting him get away, pushing all the way through the finish line. Here's on the big bank. You can see where Vaughn surged forward. Obviously, that is not a decel area, so Forrest needs to maintain consistent forward momentum there. Looks like Vaughn was just coming up real aggressive, and that was a great way to start the grade 8. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, look at this. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, just talking with the judges up here, Vaughn's initiation, that chase position, you saw him drop down and then just lunge like – That could have been really bad, but to have that temperament to just chill out just a touch. Forrest Wang, he's in that right-hand drive car, so man, oh no, sorry, he's on the correct side. He's in left-hand drive. I apologize. Yeah, thank you. He switched it over because I assumed it was Sylvia, Yeah. Man. So here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will now lead. But I was going to say, if he was right-hand drive, Forrest probably, whoa, but he wasn't. He was on the other side. Here we go. Looks like we got a clean start here. Vaughn Gittin Jr. throws it in. And more angle at it towards the second half of that outer zone. Now brings it in. Little hop, skip, and a spark into that second front clip. Can't see Forrest Wang as Vaughn Gittin Jr. brings it on through the fun haver, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and man, you could barely see Forrest Wang. Man, what is going on here?
Vaughn got a great jump. He starts off nice and high on the bank. Watch Forrest go down low. He knows he needs to catch up. He actually puts the front bumper down below that yellow line, but now Forrest starts to attack through the smoke line. He's getting some back now. Vaughn hits the second outside zone, the pedal all the way down, mashing it, pulls a little bit of a gap. Forrest a little bit less angle there towards the end. So if you think Vaughn made that mistake up on the bank, Forrest may have lost a little bit of ground because of lack of proximity and going low on the big bank. Was there enough for a clear winner here as both drivers battled back and forth in this first battle of the Grade 8?
Slide him left for Vaughn Gittin Jr., right for Forrest Wang, and it is unanimous. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win and pushes on through. So Ryan, from zero opportunity to competing to right now, he's in the Final Four.
Yeah, I think getting out of the 16 was a victory. I mean, getting out of the 32 is a victory. Getting into the 16 is like, wow, I'm having a crazy weekend. Yeah. Getting into the Grade 8 is like, hey, this is a takeaway result. Into the Final Four is I'm partying tonight. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, unbelievable. So some teal and blue all over the track, courtesy of these gentlemen. You can see they're tied 3-3. Justin Pollack, Odi Bakchis. Odi Bakchis qualifying 5th, and JTP better him by 1 position in 4th. The Roush Performance Falcon Tires Ford Mustang of JTP will lead. Odi Bakchis, who was our points and is our points leader coming to this round, as you said, Ryan, just establishing that lead. You know, Forrest Wang knocked out. He was 2nd in points. Frederick Aasbo, he's out, you know, shaking things out. Forsberg's still in it, but, you know, championship contention on the line. Here we go. JTP and Odi Bakchis. Our second battle of the Grade 8. Look at Odi right there. Once again, JTP riding that wall. Odi not frazzled at all. Allows him to cut in front of him, no problem. Look at him bringing it right around. That second inside clip, Odi Bakchis banging on the door of JTP.
Unbelievable.
This might be one of the most insano events ever.
Perfect initiation in the chase position by Odi Bakchis to get right on line with Justin Pollack. Great job there. Beautiful lead by JTP out front, but Odi not to be shaken. A little tiny correction there coming across the center, but he gets right back on it. Door-to-door action here by Odi Bakchis and Justin Pollack. Incredible run back and forth. There was that little correction right there by Odi, but he was able to get right back on this outside zone as JTP is finishing up a solid lead run, and that's an example of a great lead producing a great chase.
Every battle is a banger. I mean, straight up, door banging, clutch kicking, tire rubbing, smoke burning, like unbelievable.
It's going to be adrenal fatigue after the event.
Just coming down afterwards. Yeah. I'm just going to be on the podium lying there. Here's your trophy. Congratulations. Just done.
And your winner is?
Oh, gosh. I don't even remember. Yeah. What did you call it? Adrenal what? Adrenal fatigue. Yeah. It's like when I get a tattoo. You're like, oh, you get, and then you come down. You're like, oh, boy. Kind of tired. Here we go. The second half of this battle. JTP and Odi Bakchis will lead. Justin Pollack giving chase. Looks like Odi Bakchis initiates. Justin Pollack cutting through the smoke. A lot of smoke being accumulated. Again, that combination of sun and smoke. And Odi Bakchis slams down in that flat section as JTP brings it on home. A great chase job, a good lead run there from Odi. Man, it looked like Odi almost got a Mustang in the back end a couple times.
JTP wants to get him back on this chase run. He starts off great as Odi Bakchis is on that nice high line. Backing away now as we see these guys come through this inside clip and through that center section. Here comes JTP. Nice line by Odi Bakchis, finishing up strong here, surging towards the end, but JTP is not letting him go. And again, another banger of a run, a tough call for the judges, and these athletes just absolutely killing it today.
And these guys went one more time. Oh, it was a great side-by-side. They did go one more time again in Long Beach as well. Walk us through it here, Ryan. Again,
Yeah,
you can see how much smoke on the left there is.
Yeah, you could see that the smoke is basically just holding there, the sun refracting off of it. And this is a very, very close battle. I think Odi might have been a little bit closer for a little bit longer on the big bank and coming through that center section. But JTP had such an incredible lead, and he came back with a, an equally as good chase run. So this is a tough call here.
Slide him left for Odi. Ryan says Odi. Andy says one more time, and Brian says Odi Bakchis. Odi gets the win. Ryan Lantain going to you, as it was 2-1. Ryan and Brian, yourself saying Odi Bakchis.
Yeah, Odi had a great lead run, did a good job filling the zones, was really, really settled. In the chase position, Odi was much better at mimicking what Justin was doing. He matched his angle a lot better, and he was a lot closer throughout the majority of the track. Justin had some areas where he was close to Odi in the chase, but overall was further away, and when he was close, the angle was a lot less than Odi's. So overall, Odi did a better job.
Seemed like a couple times Pollack was going to get in the back end of Odi. He slowed down in the decel areas. It seemed like on initiation, though, too, it got a little scary. Yeah,
Odi was doing what he was supposed to do there. Justin was trying to stay really close and was just trying to do the nose to tail like we asked for, and got nice and close right there.
All right, thank you very much. Look at these guys, 2 veterans, 2 day oneers, as Yoshihara and Chris Forsberg, great friends. Wow, look at that. We'll get to that here in a moment. But Yoshihara, Chris Forsberg, who's going to advance on into the Final Four? Yoshihara, turn 14 distribution, Falcon Tires, Ineos Oil, Subaru BRZ out front. Forsberg in that chase position. Yoshihara initiates. Great angle, good proximity to the wall as Forsberg inches closer and closer to Yoshihara. Coming down out of that smoke into that second inner zone. You see Chris Forsberg lunging forward with that VR, the GTR engine, and Yoshihara sets it right on the line, and Forsberg now finds a sweet spot. Ryan, you pointed out here, they asked fans if Vaughn could go all the way, and 69% of the fans are saying yes.
And Chris trying to go all the way here, initiates a little bit lower and a little bit less angle. Dye also wants to find himself on the podium with that high qualification. Coming through that center section, you can see Chris loses a little bit of angle there, makes a correction. He surges back forward to get proximity, but now you've seen the chase run from Chris Forsberg and the lead run from Daijiro Yoshihara. Here we go on board. You can see just that angle difference, that line difference between Daijiro Yoshihara and Chris coming through that center section. You really get a nice fine-grained look of what's going on with the cars through the drone shot and the comparison between both, especially in those really critical sections coming through the center of the course.
Now Forsberg will lead. The winner of this battle will go against the winner of Piotr Wiecek or Chelsea Denofa. So already in. Vaughn Gittin Jr. goes against Odi Bakchis. We're on the other side of the grade 8 bracket. Where are my Yoshihara fans at? Any Dai fans out there? Where are my Chris Forsberg fans? Where are my drifting fans at? Should be each and every one of you. Hashtag FDORL. Let everybody know. So there we go. Little hesitation to let the smoke clear from that outside zone. Forsberg will lead. Yoshihara will give chase. Forsberg in the NOS energy drink. 370Z on next time. Forsberg initiates. Now turns it on. Turns on the smoke machine. Yoshihara drops into formation. Forsberg now going into that first front clipping point. Yoshihara center punches it as Chris Forsberg. Takes it out once again. And Forsberg gets right there into that crease in that outside zone as Yoshihara just a little bit. Ryan, let's look at it again.
Well, Chris gets a good jump here. You can see that same initiation he did against James Dean. Filling in the back end here is Daijiro Yoshihara. Great job on proximity on that section of the course, but falling behind here on the crossover. Chris hits that second hash mark on that inside clip, now pushes out wide, and we lose Dai on the smoke line, but you can see from this angle quite a bit of distance between the two coming across the finish line. So both runs are in, Jared, and now really it's up to the judges to give us the results.
2 former champions, Dai Yoshihara champion one time, three-time champion for Forsberg. So we are seeing slide him left for Forsberg, right for Dai Yoshihara. Ryan says Forsberg, Brian says one more time, and he says Chris Forsberg gets the win. Chris Forsberg gets the win, advancing on. Dai Yoshihara being knocked out. Ryan, you said Forsberg, as did Andy. Brian, say one more time your reasoning.
Yeah, it looked like Forsberg was a little more aggressive, did a better job of getting close to Odi. Probably had a couple of corrections there, but I felt like, Yoshihara. I felt like Yoshihara was a little too conservative in the chase position and didn't push hard enough. I would have preferred to see him push a little harder, even if he made a couple of mistakes. At least he would have been making an aggressive move there on Forsberg.
Yeah. What about Forsberg's mistake in the power alley? It seemed like he straightened up quite a bit going to that second front clip.
Yeah, the transition there wasn't ideal, but like I said, we tend to reward more aggressive maneuvers, even if there are some slight corrections there. Like I said, Yoshihara just looked a little bit too conservative in his chase run.
Especially given what we've seen throughout the day, the psycho drivers behind the wheel.
Like we said, we were looking for these guys to run those crazy 97, 99-point runs in tandem, and in this case, we didn't really see that.
Yeah, and Dai's just been really smooth, so not taking anything
No,
away from Dai.
very smooth, but just not aggressive enough.
All right, here we go. Our last battle of the grade 8. Piotr Wiecek qualifying 3rd, going against Chelsea Denofa, who qualified 6th. Ryan, we saw Denofa go through field, as well as Taylor Hull, and Piotr Wiecek, you saw him go against Essa taking himself out, but here we go, the Polish driver against the All-American Chelsea Denofa. And there you go, initiating Piotr Wiecek, and look at Denofa right there. Piotr Wiecek, Denofa right on the door of the S15. The smoke signal as Denofa cuts through it. Whoa, massive angle there from Denofa. Whoa! Are you kidding me? He just threw a grappling hook at his car and latched on. What did he like?
I think
he hit the mushroom or something. I don't know what, like the arrows.
He hit an unintended 3-wheel motion, I think, coming across that center section. Great initiation by Piotr Wiecek, nice and high on the bank. Denofa trying to reel him in here. After the initiation, they come back down on the bank. Here comes Denofa through the smoke line, swinging through. Big angle from Denofa. He almost lifts up right there, is able to fit right in the pocket, catches Piotr Wiecek, and reels him in through the finish line, probably the closest that we've seen. Here it is on board. Denofa just goes off a little bit on course, and then right there attacks.
No, a little closer, little closer. Dude, that was insane.
Really, really great lead run by Piotr Wiecek, and one of the best chase runs we've seen on that last outside bank, leading to the finish line by Chelsea Denofa. Really strong performances by both drivers.
Dude, psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Absolutely insane. So Vaughn Gittin Jr., Odi Bakchis, and basically still 3rd place, not to be decided, because Vaughn Gittin Jr. qualified 16th, Odi 5th, Forsberg 7th. It's a must-win for Forsberg if he wants to get 3rd place. Actually, no, he could still, yeah. No, it's a must-win for Forsberg if he wants to podium at all. And whoever he goes against, either Piotr or Chelsea Denofa, because they out-qualified him 3rd and 6th. All right, here we go. Chelsea Denofa, Piotr Wiecek. Chelsea out front. And it looks like we got a clean start as Chelsea throws it in that BC Racing, Nitto Tire, Ford Performance, Mustang, RTR Spec 5. Massive angle there from Denofa. Piotr Wiecek pedals back, tempers the flame. You can see Chelsea, a wide swing around that second inside zone. Now Piotr Wiecek does what Chelsea did in his run.
Oh, man.
Woo-wee, cowboy.
Unbelievable.
Ready to rowdy. Look at that.
Wiecek
Loop-de-loop.
trying to get him back. I mean, the only difference here is Wiecek gave a big gap on the bank to Chelsea Denofa. Both guys compressed coming down off the bank. Now here comes Wiecek. He's like, you want to get close? Here we go. I'm going to tuck in right here on this outside zone and really reel you in towards the finish line. The only thing I would say, how you doing?
How you doing?
The only thing I would say is he gave a little bit of room on the big bank, and that is going to play in both the lead and the lead runs from Denofa and Wiecek will have to be evaluated. And I think on that one, Wiecek gave a little bit more room than he probably should have to Denofa on the big bank. Denofa finishing off with a nice.
All right, what do you guys think? Who gets the win? Is it the Ford Mustang of Chelsea Denofa? Or is it the Silvia S15 of Piotr Wiecek? All right. Local seems to be a little bit louder for the Mustang. Slide them left for Denofa, right for Piotr Wiecek. Ryan, Andy, and Brian say? Ryan says one more time. Andy says one more time, and they are unanimous. One more time. All right, so as Chelsea Denofa pulls off a hard-fought battle, have to do it again against the Polish driver that is the Candyman, Piotr Wiecek. Lorette Nickel caught up with his RTR teammate.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. was telling me that there's been multiple times this weekend where you've been out of your comfort zone besides the car being at 60% in the top 32. What did you mean by that?
Well, we made a lot of changes in the offseason. Last year we had some revelations, and, Chelsea coming on the team, bringing a different perspective. I only know what I know and what I've been experiencing the last 15 years of my career. And, Chelsea's come on the last 2 years and adapted to the setups and things that we've done. And it's become kind of apparent that, we're kind of doing things a little bit harder of a way. And that I was, the way we're approaching things were kind of forcing us to have to just drive a lot harder than a lot of the guys to be as competitive. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and it was working for us. But this year we've kind of, gone back a little bit to a different style, which is more, last year, the last 2 years, I've been kind of assisting Chelsea and getting him up to speed and kind of being a coach, if you will, to help him adapt to the way we do things. And we've kind of changed him a bit to kind of bring it back a bit more to the way that he's used to doing things. And the difference is, a car that's set up, I've been used to kind of feeling the car and feeling the grip and then getting committed, where Chelsea's always just been very aggressive on and off throttle. And the cars previously didn't like that, but now that's how you have to drive them. So it's kind of switched, right? I've kind of become a little bit of the student of Chelsea this weekend, and even in Long Beach, just to kind of get up to speed of the different setup and how to handle it. So for me, I've had to change, being a bit smoother and being a bit more patient, which has been very successful for me, to being just way more aggressive instantly. So it's just minute changes, and this weekend has taken me out of my comfort zone like crazy to make it work. But now I'm starting to get settled in, starting to get that confidence that you need to be successful out here. So once again, grateful for the amazing team behind me. I should not be moving on to the Final Four because this car should they fixed it, and it was just maybe not should have been. But I'm just grateful, and I'm just I'm up here right now, so I'm just going to keep it up and go battle Odi.
Vaughn, thanks.
Thank you.
Guys.
You don't say that he's up there. I mean, Lorette just said Vaughn, and then he just elaborated. That's Vaughn, right? He just talked for a while.
Go.
Yeah, go. And I mean, I love Vaughn, obviously, and he's just a great cat. But regardless, right now, we are actually just going to wait for Piotr and Denofa to change tires because we can't advance on. Because Gittin and Odi, they're in the Final Four. Chris Forsberg will go against the winner, Piotr Wiecek or Chelsea Denofa. When we return, Grade 8, our final battle at AutoZone Scorch, presented by Black Magic. Ready to rowdy, Chelsea. Don't call me girl Denofa. That's his old school nickname, bringing it back. BC Racing, Nitto Tires, Ford Performance Mustang, RTR, Spec 5D for Drift. As the Wordhouse Drift Team Silvia S15 leaves the start line. And here we go. Piotr Wiecek initiates. Chelsea Denofa right there. Straight line approach. Chelsea Denofa hammers down. Piotr Wiecek trying to pull away. That's not what it's about. It's about angle and getting it tight to that front clip as they both do. Chelsea jumps up out of the smoke, rising like a phoenix out of the smoke. Unbelievable, and there he is once again. Oh, and some tap, some love tap from these two drivers. Ryan, smiles for miles, bro.
So much aggression and precision and just clean driving all around by both drivers. Wiecek out front, a very clean, solid lead run. Here comes Denofa with the aggression, pouring it on here. Big smoke line by Peter Wiecek coming down off the bank. Through the smoke line is Denofa. Little bit less angle there. He makes a correction, but he gets back on it and he keeps the aggression on. Meanwhile, Peter Wiecek is setting the standard as they touch bumpers there. Now coming through, you can see this is where Denofa has that little bit of a mistake through that center section, but he's really bringing it back right after that by keeping the pressure on Peter Wiecek. So we've seen the lead run from Peter Wiecek. We've seen the chase run from Chelsea Denofa. Now let's switch things up.
Denofa will lead. Wiecek will give chase. Forsberg will go against the winner of this battle. All right, so Denofa will be going against Peter Wiecek here on the second half of this battle. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Odi Bakchis wait in the wings. They are already in the final four. Wiecek and Denofa. And it looks like waiting for that smoke to dissipate. Everybody blow really hard. Get rid of that smoke. All right, looks like we're good to go. And a clean start. Denofa out front. BC Racing. Ditto Tires, Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Dragon bumper on the wall. Peter Wiecek, let's see how he handles it. Sparks in his face, no problem. Denofa tied to that front clip. As Wiecek, look at him. Now he's gonna give it back. Is he gonna rub door? Woo-wee! Ooh-wee, Rick.
It seems like at first pass that Denofa had at least an equal lead run to Peter Wiecek. He's nice and high on the bank, so the question is gonna be, does he do that throughout the remainder of the course, filling the lead run's obligations? And does Wiecek have as good of a chase as Chelsea Denofa? Denofa right in the pocket there on that edge of the crease of that outside zone, and Wiecek pouring it on there towards the end. So whose lead run was better? Was it Denofa or Wiecek, or is it tied? And then who had the better chase? I think you could make the argument that Denofa was the aggressor in the chase. He did not let Peter get away on the bank, and he kept the pressure on. He did have that mistake coming through the center section, but he quickly corrected for it. So a lot for the judges to juggle here as we await the results.
All right, you could see Peter Wiecek, the back end of that vehicle, has definitely seen better days, but just throwing caution to the wind, or better yet, is Sylvia into the bank and then into the front end of Essa earlier. Some awesome driving here between all of the drivers. Hey, round of applause for all the drivers here today, both Pro 2, Pro, and slide them left for Denofa. Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Denofa advances on, taking out Peter Wiecek. So, Lantain, you got your headset on, and it was unanimous.
Yes, it was. The Mustangs seem to be on a whole other level today. The level of aggression, how close they're getting to walls, the throttle usage, how close they're getting to the other drivers. It's both drivers here. In this case, Chelsea Denofa was just a little bit closer throughout. It looked like Wiecek was a little bit further behind, and especially in outside zone 1. He wasn't throwing the car quite as aggressively towards Chelsea's door, and Chelsea was right on his door for the majority of the run. So Chelsea gets the win.
Ryan, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's interesting that Ryan pointed out the Mustangs looking really solid this week, and I was thinking something along those lines.
Look at this. Sorry, just look at the emotion on Chelsea's face, just shaking his head.
Yeah, he's just super pumped right now. I mean, and what's interesting is those guys are on opposite ends of the bracket. Would be an interesting final, but we are going to see Vaughn Gittin Jr. do battle first against Odi Bakchis, and we are setting ourselves up for some great battles here in the Final Four.
Yeah, look at that, just the emotion. I love seeing this because it's about perspective, Ryan. You and I, we're always up here in the box. You know, Lorette's down there on the ground. She doesn't see what we see. The drivers don't see. You know, everybody's got a different perspective of what's going on in Formula Drift. It's just awesome to see. You know, man, he's number 88. He went back in time, man. I know he loves Back to the Future. You can see his helmet. He's stoked. He's going to be going against Chris Forsberg. Vaughn Gittin Jr. against Odi. That's going to be the next battle when we return. Final Four is set. Again, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Odi Bakchis, Forsberg versus Denofa. Are we going to see 2 Mustangs on the podium, or are a couple Nissans going to spoil their pleasure? When we return here to Orlando Speed World, round 2 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship AutoZone Scores presented by Black Magic. Stephanie, Parker, Tyson, Garland, Fran. Send a shout out to Taylor as well. Rest in peace. And again, I know my family's watching. Our first battle of the Final Four. Vaughn Gittin Jr. went hard in the wall before 32 began, and now here he is. He's in the Final Four. If you would have told him that would have happened, he wouldn't have believed you. Odi Bakchis, this is a familiar space. He got the win in Long Beach. He is your highest qualifying driver. He is guaranteed, at minimum, 3rd place. But Vaughn Gittin Jr. is going to keep trying to continue this success. Odi Bakchis, the Falcon Tires, Field Suspension, S14.5. Vaughn Gittin Jr., the Monster Energy, Nitto Tire, Ford Performance, Mustang, RTR, Spec 5. Here we go, our first battle of the Final Four. Odi initiates, Vaughn Gittin Jr. initiates a little bit lower. Doesn't find that extra hidden horsepower that he saw earlier. Oh, doctor, look at that. An extra little flick of the wrist as he allows Odi to pass on by. Odi fills that outside zone. He knocks over the indicator of the beginning of that outside zone. And there is that extra little lunge for the professional fun haver. Ryan?
Well, a great start here to the Final Four. Odi Bakchis quietly gaining more momentum here. Amazing line on the bank. Vaughn initiated a little bit lower. Now watch, he's going to bring angle into the car because he doesn't want to hit Odi, and he gives some room to Odi in doing so. Odi a little bit deep into that zone. Great job here by Vaughn to reel him in towards the end, but very smooth and consistent by Odi Bakchis. Let's watch going on board. Vaughn's he's going to angle up the car here so he doesn't hit Odi, and in doing so, he loses that ground. He kind of has to take some angle out of the car, then get that angle into that second outside zone to finish it up. But he was able to close the door. Odi Bakchis, on the other hand, smooth, solid, clean lead run. Yeah, it was almost like Odi was going to step on his toes. And he's like, oh, you first, go ahead. And he just allowed him to pass right in front of him. Hashtag FDORL. Tell your friends to tune in now. If you haven't been watching already, probably one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting, Formula Drift event. I mean, just very engaging. Every single run has delivered in spades. It's been an absolutely unbelievable event here at Orlando Speed World. Thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Jared Deano. Ryan Sage here by my side, celebrating 16 years of Formula Drift. The smoke accumulating into turn 1, and the combination, the formula of the sun hitting that smoke really just thickens it up and really creates kind of just a difficult point to see the vehicle. So you could see even Vaughn, his hand up in his cockpit. He's got the amber visor that definitely assists a little bit. You could see the visor of Odi Bakchis. He's running a mirrored visor, but don't know if he's got amber or sometimes they run rose underneath that. But here we go. Looks like we are ready to send it. Smoke clearing out the second half of this battle. Who's going to the finals? Is it Vaughn Gittin Jr. or Odi Bakchis? Where are my Vaughn fans at? Make some noise. Where are my Odi fans at? Make some noise. Where are my drifting fans at? Make some noise. Send it. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Odi Bakchis. The second half of this battle, Vaughn initiates. Big angle from Vaughn Gittin Jr. Takes a little bit out of it as Odi Bakchis. You can see him inching closer. Cuts through the smoke. Sparks all over that S14. Whoa, Odi Bakchis. A big correction. A mistake, a straining there. As Vaughn Gittin Jr. into that second outer zone. The fans are hyped. We're seeing fist pumps. We're seeing people lose their minds here in the stands, Ryan. I saw 3 people jump out of their seats. Vaughn Gittin Jr. initiates right into the wall, makes a little bit of adjustment there. Here comes Odi Bakchis, not letting him run away. Off the bank, sparks fly Odi through this center section. You can see he has to angle down, and he makes a little bit of a correction there. Then he gives some room to Vaughn Gittin Jr. So we've seen the back and forth, the tit for tat here, and the run is over. It turns over to the judges.
Ryan, I remind you, Odi Bakchis guaranteed a podium. He is going to hold carbon fiber. If he loses, he's guaranteed 3rd place. He's the highest qualifying driver of the Final Four. He qualified 5th compared to Vaughn Gittin Jr. 16th, and then Denofa 6th, Forsberg 7th. So that's the other side of the bracket.
Let's look at this from the drone. You can see Odi was on a slightly lower line there for a second. Then he got back up on it, coming through the bank, now off down into the center section. This is where Odi was on that bit of a tighter line there. Vaughn was able to reach out to that outside zone, stick it right on that yellow line, and beautiful job in executing that final section of the course. Now going back to run 1, this will give us, we've seen a couple replays of run 2, here's run 1. Vaughn down on that lower line, nice and high by Odi Bakchis. Here comes Vaughn closing the door. This is where Vaughn angles up, he loses that gap, loses some proximity to Odi, and then towards the end he reels him in, sweeping through that final turn. Oh man, a tough call for the judges here. A lot to weigh. And this is not one of those runs that all things are equal.
Did you run that? What was the review? So basically, who will win the Final Four battle, Vaughn or Odi? Oh, look at this. Slide. Oh, one more time. They're going at it again. So Vaughn said, or Andy says Vaughn. Ryan and Brian say one more time. Ryan Lantaine, again, one more time. If you can, elaborate, please.
Yeah, for me, it was the amount of mistakes that were made by both drivers, in the chase position especially. The leads were pretty good. They were up high on the bank. Vaughn had a little bobble, might have been a little bit higher. But in the chase position, they both had their mistakes. Vaughn was a little bit sloppy in the chase, and Odi was not super close in the chase himself. So you kind of take the close with some mistakes, or the far away a little bit smoother, and say that it was kind of even. So we go with it one more time. All
right, thank you, Ryan. So as you can see, Vaughn pulling back in, throw some fresh Nitto tire rubber on it. Lorette Nickel caught up with Say Howdy, Get Rowdy. He is ready to rowdy, Chelsea Denofa.
Personally, I feel like Chelsea Denofa doesn't say a lot. He lets his driving do the talking for him. But Chelsea, when the judges are saying the Mustangs are on a whole nother level, your confidence must be so high.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the cars are fantastic. They're super adjustable. You know, our crew's getting great data on everybody else driving out there, so the calls we're making on the chassis are absolutely perfect. And, yeah, I mean, I definitely am stoked to go against Chris in this next battle.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. As you can see, the Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5 is a mouthful, and it is a faceful, as Odi Bakchis just went against him. And, you know, I know Lorette had some words with Odi earlier, but so again, we asked the fans if, what was the vote here? Who will win the first Final Four battle, Vaughn or Odi? And the fans said 59%. They said Vaughn Gittin Jr. was going to get the win. But guess what? One more time was not an option. So now we'll see. We'll post up another Facebook. Maybe who's going to win between Forsberg or Denofa. Let's post that one up. So Chris Forsberg, Chelsea Denofa, 4-time battles between them. And Forsberg, 75%. You can see 3-1. Chelsea Denofa, what do you got, Ron?
No, I was just kind of, you know, laughing to myself a little bit. Denofa kind of looked like Robert De Niro in Heat.
Yeah.
And in that movie Heat.
Ugh.
You know?
Yeah, I got you.
The bank robber.
Yeah. Glasses in the hair.
Yeah, meaning business.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. It's good. That's a good thing to look like him right now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so Chelsea Denofa will lead. He out-qualified Forsberg by 1 spot. And like Lorette said, Denofa's been very chill. Forsberg has been very adamant. Again, during halftime break, he did an activation over there at Black Magic and an AutoZone. Then he was up here doing BC Racing. He's all over the place. You know, two very kind of different ideologies, two very talented drivers. You know, partying at the bar tonight, I guarantee. Regardless of the outcome, I mean, everybody's just driven absolutely amazing. But right now, who's going to the finals? Denofa or Forsberg? Send it, Orlando. Really flirting with that cone. Denofa throws it in. Big angle there from Denofa. Looks like he's pulling away from Forsberg. Forsberg's going to try to gain some ground here on this first front clip. And Forsberg now dives in on that front clip. And Denofa sets it into that outside zone. You can see Forsberg inching closer and closer. And a great straightforward run, Ryan.
Denofa got a really quick jump out of the gate and quickly swooped down into the initiation point, then back up right there into the wall. Forsberg playing catch up here, and you can see trying to close this door on Chelsea Denofa through the smoke line. A little bit less angle there from Chris. Look at Denofa connecting this final section. Little bit, like to see him a little bit deeper there as Chris started to reel him in there towards the end, but a good way to start off this Final Four battle. Switching things up now. It's pretty clear that Chelsea Denofa has got a lot of speed and grip while maintaining huge angle through certain sections of the course. And Chris will have his opportunity to attack in the lead position now to see if he can back up a solid lead of his own.
All right, we are waiting on the smoke to clear. And there's still, I mean, thankfully there's actually wind. I mean, look at the American flag just on the other side. So thankfully that wind is blowing. If it wasn't, and we have seen that, like Wall, New Jersey, it's a smoke bowl.
Yeah, and this is what you were talking about it earlier with Pro 2. This is when it starts to get a little bit better, but it's still very challenging. The drivers are looking right into the sun, and the smoke and the refraction of the sun off the smoke is just really difficult for us. Imagine them.
Driving 1,000 horsepower rocket ship. Chris Forsberg leading that NOS Energy Drink 370. Oh, and contact made. Oh, and Denofa goes into the wall. Forsberg continues. Denofa goes hard into the wall. And if Forsberg continues through, he will go to the finals. And there it is. It looks like, man, make some noise for these savages out here. No risk it, no biscuit. Denofa goes hard. Let's look at it again here, Ryan.
Chris drops down. Here's Denofa. He initiates, and it looks like right there he catches the back of Chris Forsberg. His bumper comes off. Looks like he loses traction, and then he goes up into the wall. There is a decel area there, so I think just from what we're seeing here, it looks like a little bit over-aggressive by Chelsea Denofa. You can't fault him. He's been absolutely on fire. Every move he's made this weekend has paid off in his favor, but you can see that surging there after initiation, and then right there the front wheels turn to the right, and he goes into the wall.
So unfortunately for Denofa, he will not see a podium. Well, actually, I take that back. If Odi wins, Denofa will get third place. What do you got?
It was just they're showing the shot of the drone here. You get a really close vantage point of what happened after that contact with Chris. And looks like the results are starting to come in here.
So RTR is guaranteed a podium either way. And here are the results. Let's make it official. Slide them left for Forsberg or right for Denofa. And there it is. It's unanimous. Chris Forsberg gets the win as he's going to the finals. Forsberg in the NOS Energy Drink 370Z. Ryan Lantain, I think it's pretty straightforward. But let's take into consideration if Chelsea didn't go into the wall. We saw the contact. Looked like he was going to be on pace and kind of follow him, but it looked like he broke a tie rod and then it just threw him into the wall. But say he didn't. Say he chased him down. Was there an advantage after that first run?
Well, this is a game of inches, and he just made a slight miscalculation there that, like you say, wreckers or checkers. At some point, you have to push so hard that you might make that little mistake that causes this kind of thing. On his lead run, very aggressive. You could tell Chris had kind of a hard time catching up, but we like to compare leads to leads and chases to chases to really get that full indication of the full view of everything that went on to see who was going to become the victor is what I'm trying to say. Who would vanquish the other driver? So in this situation, it looked like the whole event so far, the way that Chelsea's been driving. I don't know what changed from last year other than the tires that they're running, but it's incredible to watch the way the cars are moving now. The way that they're able to, it looks like maybe drop a tire, it looks like they're falling behind a little bit, and suddenly they're surging forward on the right line with the right angle, but they're able to catch up. It's phenomenal to watch these cars move.
Side grip, that side bite, and how they've developed, and I think that Vaughn was talking about that. He says how we've changed things, not pulsing, hammered down.
Yeah.
It moves sideways, and it's got that side grip.
We've seen it from both drivers, not just Chelsea, but also Vaughn. Vaughn did it in outside zone 2. It looked like he was going wide a little bit.
Well, no, up here on the wall, when he kind of lunged forward, it went down, and then I probably yanked the e-brake, or the handbrake, excuse me, and then it massaged it back up into formation.
It's kind of odd to see a car moving that way, especially driving at this level. You think they're already at the top level of grip. They're accelerating as much as they can, but somehow these guys, it's like their throttle goes to 11 or 12, and they're able to get just extra grip and extra forward momentum out of the car and catch back up without compromising anything.
Right.
We've seen other drivers catch up, but they have to compromise angle or they have to compromise line to do it. These both cars have done it tonight in a few different instances, and it's made it look great. And that may be what bit Chelsea a little bit, is he didn't expect the car to surge forward as much as it did there, and he ended up getting into the back of Chris. So
yeah, it catches you off guard because it's counterintuitive visually.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it should make sense, and then it makes sense.
Yeah, the thing that made it safe for them earlier was that there was enough of a gap between them and the lead car that they were able to surge forward, and all it did at that point was got them closer. But here, he was already close, and when it surged, he ended up making contact. So something that they're going to have to deal with, I guess, is getting used to how their cars react.
Yeah, Ryan, some great insight. I love this elaboration here as we are waiting to get Chelsea Denofa's BC Racing Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D off the course. And again, the scenario is Forsberg goes to the finals, Denofa waits in the wings, and we have the one more time battle of Gittin and Odi Bakchis. If Gittin goes to the finals, Odi would get third place. If Odi goes to the finals, Denofa would get third place. So that's the scenarios as it plays out. We'll find out. And, of course, Odi and Gittin will find out. But before that, Laurent Nickel is with Chris Forsberg.
Chris Forsberg, were you surprised not to see Chelsea right next to you when you finished?
Yeah, I saw his previous run in the grade 8 with Piotr, and they're just door-to-door pushing each other all the way through the finish. It looked insane. He was fast. I only closed on him in like one spot. Coming off the end of the bank. He was very, very fast. We had about a car length or so between us like the whole time, and we got almost everything we got in this car. And but yeah, when we came around for the lead run, we just went in as fast as we could, and he dove in a very similar fashion to Long Beach round 1, where he bumped me on the initiation, and I had a little angle, the car gets a little wavery. I was able to save it and carry the run and finish, but he ended up going into the wall. So it's like we talked about earlier with my run with James. It's you gotta know when and how hard to push it.
Chris Forsberg moving on. Congratulations.
All right. Cleanup on aisle 9 just about done here. We'll take a quick break and come right back to the AutoZone Scorch presented by Black Magic.
All right, Ryan, as we come back here, that is how it began for Vaughn Gittin Jr. That was in practice. That was moments, minutes before practice was over. He is kind of missing something. The front wheels, the front left corner saw the brunt of it, and then Ryan Littoral with the back end of his vehicle hit the other side to just take that wheel off too. So, but here he is now. He's in the Final Four. Potentially, he has to make it to the, or he has to go through Odi to get to the finals to go against his Drift Alliance homie Chris Forsberg. But Odi, look it, he's back on the box. He's guaranteed a podium. He won in Long Beach, and now he's guaranteed if he loses third place. But Vaughn Gittin Jr. is going to try to put a stop to that. And if he's in the finals, again, Ryan, you said, to just be back and to compete, and then to win at 32, cool. 16, holy cow, this is happening. 8, no way. Like, come on. Final 4, dude, we're partying tonight. I like how you said that. You said that earlier, and it's unbelievable.
What's the next step after partying?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Retiring? I don't know. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr., but Odi Bakchis is leading in that Falcon Tires Field Suspension S14. Oh, and you know who doesn't care about Vaughn Gittin Jr. right now? Odi Bakchis stepping up in a major way. Whoa, slamming down. Vaughn Gittin Jr. skinning the back end of that S14, bringing the heat. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Unbelievable run from Odi Bakchis out front, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. is the Mustang shadow. Woo!
Whatever way you want to put it,
wow.
Odi Bakchis has been asserting himself as the leader of this championship, and he does it right here with this first run in the lead. Vaughn makes a little bit of a mistake. It was an aggressive mistake, and he dropped down on the bank, and then he says, I gotta get this back. Here I come. I'm gonna shut the door on Odi Bakchis. Right here, I'm gonna lock in. So proximity from the transition to here, absolutely phenomenal by Vaughn Gittin Jr. The lead run made that possible from Odi Bakchis. Let's see what happens here on initiation. He kind of dives down, nearly taps Odi Bakchis. He locks up the fronts, and he has to dip down a bit more. So a bit of a mistake there from Vaughn, but he's able to get it back from this section of the course. Just beautifully done. A little bit tight on the transition, but overall, a good way to start this Final Four. Odi Bakchis looked great. He knows what he needs to do in the chase position here. We know how fast Vaughn is, and both of these drivers are going to be giving it their all to try to find their way to the finals.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. will now lead that Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Odi Bakchis, Falcon Tires, Fuel Suspension S14.5. Where are my Odi fans at? Make some noise. Where are my Vaughn Gittin Jr. fans at? Hey man, if it's got to do what you got to do. Yeah, you got to bring the heat, man. If you get excited, and sorry for blowing up your speakers at home. If you're here in person, I was just telling the judges, this is probably one of the most engaging FD events. Every single battle is just absolutely bonkers. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Odi Bakchis. Who's going to the finals? Who's going against Forsberg? Vaughn Gittin Jr. initiates the sunset. Smoke is thick. Odi Bakchis starts on the lower line, but he brings it back up. Vaughn Gittin Jr. hammering down with that Ford Performance engine. Wow. Sparks, fireworks. Odi Bakchis jumps out on the inside. Takes out that front inner clipping point as Vaughn sets it, forgets it, brings it on home across the finish line. Ryan, do we have a winner? Which way does the needle go?
Well, Vaughn made that little bit of a mistake in the chase, but he made it back up. A bit smoother here in the chase by Odi Bakchis, getting right up on the door. He started off a bit lower, however, now coming through the center section. Watch Odi transition through this inside. Bit less angle there than Vaughn Gittin Jr., but now makes his way through the smoke line. Something happens in here where Vaughn pulls a bit of a gap towards the end. I mean, it's a gap relative to what we've seen. It's not that big of a gap, but still, we've seen such close battles, and that's where you really get some insight to the difference in line and angle from Odi, from the lead to chase position there between Vaughn and Odi on that second run. Whew.
Yeah, right? Catch your breath. People are making comments of my audio blowing it out, but you know what? It's worth it. So seeing a lot of comments here. And what's interesting is actually the poll that was up for the Denofa Forsberg battle, 72% of the fans said that Denofa was going to get the win. And like we were talking about with Lantain, you know, I could have seen it going that way if Denofa didn't hit the wall. He hit that, you know, hit Forsberg's back bumper, and then it took him into the wall. He was possessed, man, but just that small little variable, as Ryan said, a game of inches. So just 1 inch the wrong direction. You know, 10/10. Here we go. Who's going to the finals? Or are they going one more time? So, oh, look at Ryan says one more time. Andy says Odi Bakchis. Brian says one more time. So they are going at it again. A one more time battle. Ryan Lantain, OMT.
Yeah, Brian and I said one more time.
Thank you.
So I was just conferring with Brian. We both agree that they did similar leads. They did a great job on their leads. It came down to the chase run where they were both making errors in the chase. Vaughn was a little bit, he wasn't very accurate, let's say, on his initiation. He had a couple of bobbles there. Odi also came in low, but had to work his way up. He was smoother, but still wasn't ideal there. They both made a couple of errors in the infield going to inside clip 2. So we'd like to see them clean that portion up. But keep their leads just as clean as they were.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was. I totally see that, and it's totally and completely justifiable.
Hopefully, there are some parts of their cars left to do another one more time because they're really pushing these cars pretty hard right now. And then we'll see who goes up against Forsberg in the finals.
And Forsberg, there it is. So Odi Bakchis, you see him gathering his thoughts. And another thing to think about is Odi's not 100%. Remember, Lorette told. You know, or Lorette asked him, and he told Lorette that he's under the weather.
He is.
So the humidity, the heat, the one more times, the stress. I mean, he's going to you talk about that adrenal dump after this. Odi's just going to pass out in the car. I don't think he's going to make it to the podium.
He's not even going to go home.
Yeah.
He's going to sweat it all out right now.
Right.
Through these battles.
Lantain, Odi Bakchis, it seems to be working out for him this year. Why do you think? I mean, we're only into round 2, and we're only into round 2.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, looking at Long Beach, looking here, it's really come together.
Yeah, no, it's like I was talking with Andy earlier. His intuition is excellent. The way that he's able to place his car, he can watch what the lead car is doing and know exactly where to put his car to make sure he's in the right position before that lead car even gets where the lead car is intending to go or will end up. So it's phenomenal to watch Odi's progression over the years. We had a good talk with him a few years ago where we were saying, you know, you need to listen to what we're saying more as opposed to doing what you think is right. And he's really adapted to that, and it's paying dividends for him now. It's incredible how well he's able to drive and put his car where he needs to put it to get the win.
Nearly 25-year-old vehicle, by the way,
right.
That S14. But you know what? Let's throw it down to Lorette Nichols. She is live in the pits. Lorette?
Well, Jared, thank you so much. I just asked Odi, how are you feeling? And he said, not well. His legs are aching. It's hot in the car. It's humid in here. Odi, the judges said that you both drivers have to clean up your chase run. So how do you do that moving forward?
Yeah, honestly, I'm really disappointed in my chase runs. Something's just not jiving with my driving style and Vaughn's driving style, or the car setups are completely different. Our driving styles are completely different. It's honestly a bit frustrating because we want to put on a good show. We love doing this. So, you know, I got no excuse. This is another one more time. I should by now have figured out his driving style, and I'm just gonna go as hard as I need to go.
Okay. Odi, best of luck. Thanks so much. Guys.
Wiped, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. He just looks absolutely wiped, and he's ready. He's ready to crawl in bed, man.
It seems like anybody that makes it out of this event today is a hero.
Yeah. I mean, we've been sensationalizing the Vaughn thing because that was just so blatantly obvious. But you know, I mean, even Ken Gushi. I mean, just rattling off these 32 names that we've seen here today: Frederick Aasbo, Kevin Lawrence, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Dean Carney, Forrest Wang, Ryan Littoral. I mean, he had an awesome battle against Forrest Wang. That was early on in 32. Pat Goodin, Jeff Jones, sensational driving. Federico Sharifo coming all the way from Italy. Justin Pollack, Alex Heilbrunn, Alec Conadale, Odi Bakchis, Austin Meeks debuting a new car. Ken Gushi, Jonathan Castro, 2 one more times, excuse me, 3 battles. Yoshihara, Dan Burkett, killer battle out of the gate. Ryan Tuerck, Travis Reeder, Chris Forsberg, Dirk Stratton, James Dean, Matt Coppin, unfortunately, was a DNS, did not start. Peter Wiecek, Joao Barrion, Michael Essa, Kazuya Taguchi, a new car for him, that up garage vehicle, Achilles tire, as well as Chelsea Denofa. Obviously, we just saw him take it into the wall. Taylor Hull, Matt Field, and Dylan Hughes. So much talent, and I'm excited for Atlanta. You know what I mean? You got to be looking ahead, right? Atlanta, New Jersey, Texas, Seattle. I mean, you got to be thinking about that if you're a driver, and even for us as announcers.
In 2 weeks, we'll be at event number 3. Just
Insane.
think about that.
Insane. Vaughn Gittin Jr., eyes are on the prize. When we come back, Odi versus Gittin in the Final Four. Well, it's been a beautiful day out here at Orlando Speed World. Ryan, I mean, we saw rain, and I think we really scored this weekend. I know coming into it, you know, a week out, things change very fast here in Florida.
Yeah, usually when I see rain, it's a depressive state that comes over me, knowing that it could just, you know, hurt the overall competition, the event, the funness, and, you know,
I like that word.
A lot of this is about being with people that you love to spend time with and having a good time. And drifting is all about having a good time. We're having a great time in competition now. We're seeing this one more time battle come to a head here. Odi talked about the challenges of trying to figure out Vaughn's driving style and wanting to give his best performance, needing to make some adjustments on his chase. They've had a moment to think about it, put new tires on, and here we go.
All right, the second one more time battle. Odi Bakchis, Vaughn Gittin Jr. falling asleep at the light. Odi initiates, but there goes Vaughn. Slingshots forward, right next to Odi. Now coming down, that's the chase that they were looking for, I believe. They're the judges, goes offline just a little bit, dips that front left tire. Now Odi Bakchis sets it into that outside zone, and Vaughn does once again.
Well, Vaughn got a bit of a bad jump out of the gate. He let Odi run away. Nice snap by Odi, but here comes Vaughn, closing the gap up on the bank. Odi staying strong, Vaughn door to door. Through that inside clip, through the smoke line is Gittin, but Odi is holding him off as Odi reaches out to this second outside zone, going a little bit high there, allowing that door to open up for Vaughn, who touches his door, and they close up run number 1. Great job by both drivers here. Looks like both sides kind of cleaned it up. Vaughn got a little bit of a late jump out of the gate, and there it is. That front right tire rubbing up against Odi Bakchis' door. Switching things up now, Jared. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will be in the lead position. Odi Bakchis will chase him down. And one thing I'm noticing, as now the sun has gone below the tree line, it is a heck of a lot easier to see that inside clip from our vantage point. I hope that it's helping the drivers, because the sun was absolutely brutal.
And the shadow, you can see, is consuming more of the track. It's almost all up to the, about the 2 cone hanging off of the fence, and that's a good sign. So it looks like the entirety of the track, probably majority of it, 70%, is covered by shadow. So it's consistent for the drivers. So you're not going from bright sun to dark shadows. Here we go. The second half of this battle. Who's going to the finals? Vaughn Gittin Jr. The second one more time as Vaughn initiates. Odi Bakchis right there. These twin V8 cars obviously under the Mustang, and then Odi Bakchis with that supercharged V8 slamming down into the flat portion of the track. Odi Bakchis now surges in attack. Are we going to get a victor? As Vaughn sets it into the outside zone, these guys are absolutely killing it. Ryan, are they going again?
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh, that X factor, bro. Seriously.
The class of 2019 is just on fire here. Vaughn, great line on the bank. Odi Bakchis got a good jump there, stuck with them, tried to keep the proximity tight, surges forward. Looks like he may have tapped the bumper there. He stays right in the pocket against Vaughn Gittin Jr., keeping the pressure on. Big angle by Vaughn to wrap things up as they blow through the finish line, and the judges once again have a very tough call to make.
I seriously do not envy the judges right now. They're standing right next to they're standing right next to me. They could hear me, and man, it's pretty unbelievable. Oh my gosh, they've gone 2 more times. This is a great comparison, side by side. Look at this.
Yeah, you can see that Odi got the better jump on the bank, but Vaughn quickly reeled up to him pretty close. A little bit of a difference there between Vaughn and Odi on the bank for a very short period of time. Now coming down off the bank, let's look at this gap. You can see Odi was closer to Vaughn there. Vaughn did a great job getting into that outside zone.
Yeah, Odi went off the track.
He went a little bit too deep. It allowed Vaughn to suck up on the inside, and this is where Vaughn is closer through the finish line. And this is a splitting hairs type of battle here. But the judges, this is what they do. And either way, it's going to be a very tough call.
Okay, do we have a winner? Who's going to the finals? Ryan says Vaughn. Andy and Brian say? Andy says Odi. Brian says? Odi Bakchis gets the win. Odi Bakchis gets the win. That means Denofa gets 3rd place, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. is just outside of holding carbon fiber. Round of applause for Vaughn Gittin Jr., everybody. Ryan Lantain, going to you.
Yeah, I talked
2-1.
Yeah,
Odi Bakchis. And you said who?
I said Vaughn.
You said Vaughn. These
They
guys said Odi.
Yeah. So the reason they went with Odi is they felt he had a better proximity in the chase from start to finish, and in the lead they were very similar. So that's the reason that they went with Odi. Just felt he had a better proximity overall. Did a better job.
Yeah, and after, look at, here it is again, side by side.
Ryan, why don't you walk us through this from your perspective? I'd love to hear how you thought about it in your mind.
Yeah, the one thing for me that got it was right here. Odi was quite a bit lower in the chase position, so he did cheat a little bit right there. On the transition right here, they both did pretty well, but Odi ended up going a little bit wide in the chase, and in the lead, Odi goes 1, potentially 2 tires off the track right there, whereas Vaughn stayed on the course throughout that zone. So that was what sealed it for me for giving it to Vaughn, but the other judges saw the proximity on outside zone 1 being fuller, I guess, from start to finish, whereas I thought that Vaughn started a little further back but ended up closer and in the right line. So it was just a difference of opinion on how we viewed that.
Man, a bit heartbreaking there for Vaughn Gittin Jr. But you know what? No, it's not.
No,
We talked
no.
about this. Getting to the Final Four in the conditions that he is, he's not holding carbon fiber. I know Vaughn, and you know what? Yeah, I digress. He's got to be pumped right now. His teammate, he's on the box. RTR's on the podium. Now it's just decided who's going to get the victory. Which one of the redheads? Is it going to be Odi or is it going to be Forsberg? We saw both those guys on the podium in Long Beach. When we return, you can see the sun is setting. The lights are coming on here at OSW. And guess what? We give out carbon fiber trophies when we return. Who's going to get the win? Chris Forsberg or Odi Bakchis? Don't go anywhere. Auto Zone Storage presented by Black Magic. Round 2 of the
Well, Odi Bakchis takes the win, jumps out of his car, and I asked him, are you running a little thin? And what was your answer?
Yeah, man, I am drained of energy. I haven't been feeling well all day, but, no excuses. I got to go drink some juice, put some sugar in me, and I got a race to win. So very excited to be here, in the finals. And this has never been my strongest track, so I'm very glad to put that behind me, and I'm feeling good when the visor's down and I'm actually clutch kicking, but when I'm in the pits, I'm definitely drained.
And what are your expectations going against Chris Forsberg, who won here last year?
Well, Chris did really good here, obviously, last year, and he took the win, and I reviewed that footage, and he's just fast and tight. That's Chris's driving style. He's just precise, tight, and quick. So we're going to have to do the same thing. Definitely a different driving style than Vaughn, and I went with him a whole bunch, so I'm going to have to reset.
Okay, Odi, best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
On exit tire. All right, we are good for going, ready to send it. On 3, let's go send it as loud as possible for our final battle here at Orlando Ski World. Forsberg and Odi. Bakchis and Forsberg. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, and let's send it! Orlando! Earlier today, and the knee beating on the tire, that is your equipment unable to run. So Odi Bakchis and Chris Forsberg in the finals. Forsberg will bring our 3 finalists over here in front of the grandstands. Join us in the pits for our trophy ceremony, our carbon fiber trophies. Thanks for joining us out here. Drive safe, happy at FEORL. And again, we're going to bring those vehicles right here in front of the crow's nest. So again, with that tire, that means
know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, Jared, thank you so much. Odi, sorry for interrupting that. My goodness, after 3 one-more-time battles, you seem to thrive in stress, maybe to the point of moving into duress. How did you conserve enough energy to battle against Chris Forsberg?
Well, honestly, I just try to stay calm every time I, roll into the pits, and it wasn't easy, honestly. And I knew Chris was going to be a really, really tough battle, and it's really unfortunate that he debuted. I did feel really good about my lead run, but it would have been awesome to battle Chris. But I'll take it. This is a really good jump in points, and my team just killed it. I had the confidence in the car, and that's what I needed.
Okay, Odi, congratulations, making it 2 in a row.
Thank you very much.
Jared?